am not coming. I have already made arrangements outside, so I'm not coming. You are a lawyer. You have your clients. If your client decides to give you leave, well, go on leave. But you cannot say that there's a legal vacation and the judge who is actually sitting cannot do your case. No, that's not it. And then adjournments are not at the instance of the Chief Justice. An adjournment is a judicial act. This is something that is so basic that sometimes when people write that I got a letter saying that I should withdraw the directive and also direct that the case should be heard in the same time. I said, you went to court and the judge decided that she was granting.
So the administrative level of the judiciary, Justice or Bafo the Chief Justice, has a reaction to all those who are saying that, look, vacation court are not for trial, they are for interlocutory actions and all of that. He said, look, when your case is before the court, make your time and then go. Because once the judges are sitting, definitely the court should sit and operate and all of that. Then we're waiting for somebody to tickle the box, somebody to take this one on. And guess what? Elon Goni has taken the initiative to say that, look, I'm going to the Supreme Court to challenge the vacation court or the vacation, legal vacation. Essentially saying that, look, legal vacations, especially when you go to the High Court, for the High Court, they make provisions for some of the courts to sit. But what about the Court of Appeal, the second highest court of the land, and the Supreme Court? They go on vacation entirely in the court of the 2 months. So if you have cases before the Court of Appeal or the Supreme Court, what it means is that for 2 months, you have to stay and wait for them. He believes that that is unconstitutional, and therefore, he's filed this action at the Supreme Court. And the release that he's seeking, some declaratory release, and of course, some orders that he's seeking, essentially saying that the declaration that the practice of legal vacation, as observed by the Superior Court, and the Superior Court here are the High Court, Court of Appeal, and the Supreme Court of Adjudication of the Republic of Ghana, insofar as it results in the suspension or substantial restriction of the hearing and determination of cases, thereby occasioning undue delay in the administration of justice and unjustifiable restricting access to the courts, is inconsistent with and in contravention of Article 1(2) of the 1992 Constitution and other provisions within the same Constitution, and believe that it is unconstitutional to the extent that it is the extent of its inconsistency. So that's one of the declaratory relief that he's seeking. Another relief that he's seeking is the effect that if you look at all these things that have happened, the continuous stay at home by the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court within that 2 period occasions undue delay, of course. And this, he believed that it's unconstitutional. Again, it's inconsistent with the 19 provisions in the 1992 Constitution, and same should be declared null and void and of no effect. So that is the second declaratory release that the director let's move that the applicant is seeking in relation to this particular case. And guess what? He sued the Attorney General, the principal legal advisor of the Republic of Ghana, director let's move, and then sued also the Chief Justice, who is the one making decisions in relation to what is happening. And if you see the artwork on your screen, guess this is the gentleman who actually sued or filed this particular suit at the Supreme Court. And of course, he sued the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayine is here, and the Chief Justice is also here. So in relation to this particular matter, a date will be fixed. And once that date is fixed, argument will be advanced. Then we'll see whether the Supreme Court will put finality to this issue about the legal vacation. Are we going to have a situation whereby when it's time for legal vacation, we'll say that, no, this time around we are not going, or we are going to stay. So we'll end here, and then we'll continue tomorrow. But what is coming up today is that the buffer stock, yes, Anand is in court. for case management conference. As to whether his lawyers will show up is also another issue that we'll keep an eye on. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Vacation, you see, I think maybe, yes, it's digressing a bit, but on the broad scale, we don't take vacation serious in this country.
We need it. We
don't take it seriously. I know a friend in Canada, the company ensured that when it was time for his vacation, they booked the tickets for him. That's where do you want to go? So I want to go home. I want to come to Ghana and come and do it. But he didn't want to. The company booked for him. Enforced him to come to Ghana. Come. After that, come and refresh and then come back to us.
We are productivity as well.
People are even saying that the legal vacation is not even required. No, there are a lot of cases
even schools, we need vacations.
Come on.
Even you. I need
a vacation
I need
to Jamaica.
vacations.
Jamaica vacation, I need it.
So that is why you take your leave.
Vacation, not leave. Leave is just
you can take your leave and but you need trips.
That's your vacation.
You know what? Let's take a vacation on the show. When we come back, I see that they will be engaging our guest for today. Please don't go anywhere. Stick and stay with us.
Sports news, and Jones is in the studio with Sports Chat. Jones, what do you have for us?
Hi, good morning.
This guy, the way I suspect him. Anyway, good morning, Jones. Jones, good morning.
Morning. Charlie, that's how we roll.
Oh, that's not fair. I can't speak Ewe, so please, English.
F1. It's very simple, F1.
A.
So
okay.
what's not fair? Or say, your boyfriends know.
My boyfriends.
Anyway, so this morning, we'll start with women's football. Okay. And the CEO of Hazakes Ladies, Dr. Evelyn Nsiasari, has urged the vice president that, come on, mommy, you are a woman, we want you to support women's football. She says that she believes that if she can do that, it will be a legacy for her to, in fact, invest more in women's football and support them. She was speaking on Hills on Balls on GHOne TV earlier this weekend.
For one thing, okay, they are doing so well.
Yeah,
they are doing so well, and they had about 2 or 3 matches before they went into the game. They started the tournament. I mean, gone are the days. Even friendly matches, we have to be doing select side. Ashtown and Pemdakwa, Hazakes select side. Then we put them together. They will play the national team. But for almost 10 years now, the management members and the administration are doing so well because it is proper planning. So we do play friendly matches, quality ones. I mean, not long ago we played England, and it was a very fantastic game, and that is reflecting in what we are doing right now. So I think that we are not doing badly. They are doing so well, and I was very happy to see the minister speak with them before the first match. That is what we have to be doing. The president was there himself. But there was one thing that was lacking or that was missing. Did you watch the first Black Stars game?
Yes.
The World Cup?
Yes.
What did you see that you are not seeing in our women's game?
I think the support is really not there.
Very well.
Yeah.
Very well. And I saw the vice president, and I'm very happy for the first time in this country's history we have a woman who is a vice president.
Yeah.
So my thinking is that Madame will pick this discipline. I mean, all the disciplines involve women. A vice president will take it so well and then own it. I mean, they all leave power, and you cannot trace what a particular thing that person or somebody did. When you go to the NPP, you can say that His Excellency Mahmoud Baumia Degeta, Mr. Degeta. I want Madame to get involved in women's football so that at least when she is not there, and she's a very intelligent woman and intellectual. You see, an academia, when you are dealing with them, it's different. So we need to rally behind those women. But when I joined, I heard you were discussing I think the winning bonuses or something of that sort.
Yeah.
No woman is saying that we should be paid $10,000 as the male are being paid.
Yeah.
But at least meet us.
And obviously watch Hills on Balls every Saturday from 9 a.m. I don't know why Josh says he doesn't like the name. But we move to the Galka Top 4. Yeah, the Galka Top 4 will be happening again. And this time around, we'll have the launch here on Tuesday. Next week, Tuesday, it will be happening. 4 new teams, 4 exciting new teams will take part in this year's Galka Top 4. And we'll unveil all of them right here on GHOne TV at exactly 12:30 p.m. on Tuesday. So don't miss that one. And let's quickly move to the 2026 WAFCON. Big games coming up tonight in the 2026 WAFCON, where Morocco are set to take on Cameroon, and then we'll also see Algeria take on Malawi. Ghana would have been in there, but obviously Ghana were knocked out by Malawi. But then these 4 teams have qualified for the 2027 World Cup in Brazil, and Ghana will be hoping to also qualify. They need to win their game tomorrow against La Côte d'Ivoire. If they do win, it means that they'll qualify for the Intercontinental Playoffs, and then have to face another team where if they get a win, then they might play in Brazil next year. Let's quickly move to tonight's big game, Super Cup happening, UEFA Super Cup happening between Aston Villa and PSG. PSG won the Champions League, beating Arsenal, and we also saw the Aston Villa side also winning the Europa League. So tonight at 7 p.m., these 2 sides would start the season for us when they do meet. Finally, before we go, the Somalian referee, yes, who was bounced by FIFA, in fact by America, he could not officiate at the World Cup. Guess what? Tonight he's going to be in action and officiating the UEFA Super Cup. It's a big news for the Somalian international. Dropped at the World Cup, UEFA Super Cup accepts him. So that's all for the Sports Chat. Do join us at exactly 12:30 p.m. for the, in fact, 1 p.m., yes, for the game with Felix. I am Jose Dizedai. Of course,
He's outside. Jones, Akpe.
Yeah.
Mona, you're out.
Kukuyu.
Now, have a great day.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all right. So that's it. Now we can properly get ready for our guest this morning. So the male energy will get out of the studio, and we'll saturate the studio with some proper positive female energy right after this. So now I feel ashamed because this is not female energy. But anyways, we'll get ready for them. But let's do Inside Out now. And the head of the political current affairs desk here at EIB Network, also my producer for State of Affairs, and producer for GA Today as well, Ibrahim Al-Hassan. Today, IB has come. IB, good morning.
Good morning, Joshua.
The way the radio people are taking you, we don't like.
Yes, so today I have abandoned them.
We'll do protest.
No problem. Now, in fact, I've said goodbye to them. Yeah,
okay.
Upon your request. Yeah, but I've informed viewers that you sat down once again for an extended conversation with Philip Kwachu.
Yes.
Today, the men's gold customers will have answers, right?
GN Bank
will have answers. Camila Al-Hassan will have answers.
Yeah.
For First State as well.
Untumi also
even
has
Miracles.
Miracles has
will get some answers as well.
But Felix, hey. Anyways, you need to watch it because there are some of the things that I cannot say, but Felix has said it, and you need to watch that conversation to get to understand exactly what his thoughts on these issues are. Quite interesting.
Very. It's been a very eventful last 2 weeks. But it looks like the week is still young. We are
it's
just
not going anytime soon because just when we thought things were settling, AXA.
Yes. AXA came.
Berkon.
Yes.
Faces up to 30 years.
And interestingly, we've had this conversation twice. Because when he was compelled to resign and he moved to the US over this same indictment, we had that conversation. And I remember speaking to Dr. Commander in Parliament, but then he was a certain member of Parliament. Right? And then the denials there. And now, in fact, with SEC, he had settled. You know, SEC in the US, they deal with regulations and what have you. So there was a settlement. Some payments were made. So he was not prosecuted. And then Brooklyn stepped in. New York, Brooklyn stepped in. The federal court there stepped in and said, no, there were some criminal charges that had to be brought against him. Now, he's been convicted. And that's why we've had to revisit this conversation. But I don't understand why everybody's investigating. So Yoko is investigating. The AG is investigating. OSP is investigating. Martin Amidu says nobody's investigating.
No, Martin Amidu says the thing was there. You scrapped the thing. And now you say you are investigating. Stop insulting the intelligence of Ghanaians. You are investigating what? Go and find someone sleep. Cynthia Fori, go home.
It's very interesting.
It's quite.
And Sijofori is supposed to be his deputy when he was there, right? The deputy. Anyway, you know my take on Martin Amido. I think, you are given a task to undertake, right? For whatever reason, you jumped.
No.
You jumped, right? For whatever reason, allow whoever has succeeded you to do the best they can.
Martin will not be happy with you this morning.
No, man. I've constantly been saying this, right? Don't behave like Konawokaya, right? You will not carry.
Someone is carrying to.
Then wahala.
You say no, the Kechere is not.
Because you could have actually overlooked the mother serpent argument and what have you, right? And still stayed in there and executed. Yes, you were complaining about lack of resources and what have you. I'm not sure Kisia Jabin has held a megaphone shouting that he has excess resources.
No, I mean, he says it's a lone bed.
You see, Ankwanoma. you get the point. There have been many attempts to even oust him. At the point, the dossier went before Madam Eraba Esaba Tokonu. Right? She perused the dossier and said, nah, they are no merit. That was under Akufo-Addo. Now, under Mahama, similar moves were made. Survived. Thus, he been booted out. And then, the very existence of that office was challenged at the Supreme Court.
He wanted to take his powers and do impossible.
You see? Meanwhile, his tenure will come to an end next year. Right, thereabout. Now, back to AXA. What happened? We told that at the point we wanted to procure an emergency power plant.
In the heat of Doomsor?
In the heat of Doomsor.
Literally.
So there was no burden. When you are procuring an emergency power plant, the last thing you want to do is open up a tender and then it will take too long. So that's where Dr. Kamel Donko, through his lawyer, Katie Hammond, is wondering why AXA, through Goldman Sachs, had to influence anybody, because there was no competitive burden in the first place for you to say that I want to win the contract.
Yeah.
So first of all, that premise is wrong. And then again, this is what GHOne did. GHOne was an investment banker for Goldman
Sachs, yeah.
And he formed another company in Ghana to do what he's done that has found him in trouble now. Right? At a point, Goldman Sachs, as an investment bank, was involved in the deal. They later pulled out.
True.
But GHOne went on. Now, ECG officials were involved.
PURC?
And when I say they were involved in the deal, not the bribery claims, no. PURC, right?
Yeah.
The then officials of the Power Ministry, right? And a number of players in the power sector. What role did they play? Before the plans could be shipped to Ghana, they had to go and inspect the equipment. We told this industry practice, right? Yeah. So they went there. When they went there, the cost for that journey was borne by AXA. And they were given per diem of $5,000. Per diem. $5,000. My checks in the sector is that all the plans that we are enjoying today, the process was similar.
Was the amount also similar?
Yeah, I think the per diem was determined by the prevailing economic conditions.
Because that's where people are talking about this whole issue that, well, $5,000 to come in and inspect something. You could have said no if it wasn't meant to induce. But that's a conversation for another.
Okay, so the argument is that once you leave Ghana, you are entitled to per diem. Once you travel, Joshua, if luck smiles on you and the president is going for his next UN summit.
It must smile.
Yeah. and then somebody taps you that, Joshua, let's go.
Yes.
You will get per diem.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you will.
Will it be $5,000?
It might even be more, given the prevailing economic conditions.
Oh, then
it depends on how many days you actually spend there. No. It's actually, it's per diem, so it's paid per day. So let's assume that they use 10 days to inspect these.
So that was $500 per day.
It's possible. Right. Now, do you remember Mary?
Yes.
And a certain Philip Addison?
Yes.
When MPP came to power, a committee was put together to investigate the Mary deal. That committee was also expected to travel and undertake some investigations.
Yes.
Well, that committee traveled. The cost of that travel was borne by Mary, if you remember. In that case, they were investigating Mary, but it was Mary that paid for that trip. And I remember in Parliament, it came up for a conversation. So investigation ought to be done. Then we are told that some amount of money was paid to Parliament. And here, many people have said, Parliament, that means 270. No.
The committee.
When you go to Parliament, you don't go to the chamber in general. You go to a committee. So there was a 17-member energy committee.
And GHOne was ranking then?
Yes, he was ranking then. Amadi Sorogo was the chairman. Right? Now, and this is where it will get tricky. If payments were made, the recipients, how did they perceive those payments? It's very important. How did they perceive those payments? Was there a meeting at, say, Peduase? And after the meeting, they say, okay, this is for your transportation. If that was it, to the recipient, this cannot be bribe. But to the giver, because of the reporting lines from where the money is coming from, you have to report it as bribe or inducement or facilitation. Even though in America, lobbying is actually accepted.
Of course.
And it's part of their jurisdiction. You pay money to lobbyists, right? For them to ensure that whatever you want done is done.
It's carried out.
It's carried out, right? And so I've heard many people, and then I read extensively what Commander Donko said through his lawyers. As at the time all the payments were made, he was not the Prime Minister.
Because he resigned in January of 2016.
He had resigned. And mind you, his resignation is very ingrained on all of us, our minds, because he had promised to end Dumso by end year, December 2025. 2015.
Yes.
2015. And he said he had done that. But some individuals within government said, no, he had not been able to end doom so. That was very interesting. For those of you who were not very active politically then, Commander on Court said he had ended doom so.
Yeah.
And people from within the government said, no, you have not ended doom so. So he resigned. And if you look at the timelines for the payment, the alleged payments, they were all after he had exited power. Yeah. So his argument is that you cannot add my name to that list if there exists any list. Well, there was energy minister then, because there was energy ministry. In fact, President Mahama wanted to consciously deal with the power crisis. Exactly. So he created power ministry out of the energy ministry, right? And then, so Commander Nko equally had a deputy, right? And then there was energy ministry. And then all the other individuals mentioned, including the members of the committee. The good news is that we have 3 entities, 3 state agencies, all of them running against each other to investigate. IOCO, OSP, and then also the Attorney General. So forget the list that's out. Investigations will then produce a very list that we all will have to interrogate. Absolutely. Right? If indeed those monies were paid, who were the recipients?
Yes. The rationale for which those monies were received
and then paid. Well. Yes. But it's a lesson to everybody, including Parliament of today, that sometimes you might think you are receiving transportation, but the one giving might think that they are giving you something else.
Okay. Thank you so much, IB. Quite a thorough perspective there. So that was our Parliamentary Affairs Head of Political Desk, and that is my boss. Let's see what the papers have been saying this morning. Front page says Galamsey destroys 60% of rivers. Scientists raise alarm over implications. And SNET targets 2.8 million active members by 2028. Poor court administration erodes public trust, and that is by the Chief Justice. Take your anti-HIV drugs religiously. And that is from GAC, adherence rate pegged at 57.6%. So that's it for the front page of...
Yeah, but then, well, Health Minister says we are restocking. And you know, most of these drugs we're getting from donors. Exactly. Anyways. But they should be taking them. Take their drugs, okay? Daily Guide this morning, Dubai in trial, judge insists on legal vacation hearing. Sawyer Committee got Growth 82 registration date wrong. That's according to Fourth Estate. And you know Growth 82. Listen, Felix will be talking about it as well. So you wait for it. Because Felix says, an omission of WO was what Fourth Estate capitalized on. Dama Mine fulfilling promises. And that's a great one there. 400 locals employed. Airstrip, Roads University. Yeah, roads underway. You know, Ibrahim Mama promised that he would deliver. And according to Daily Guide, he's actually delivering. That's interesting.
According to the chiefs, actually held a press conference to mark the delivery of the promises. And they say that it is far ahead of schedule.
So this is not about it being the pipeline?
No.
Wow. No. Engineers and planners.
Yeah.
But can we go back to the paper? We are not done with the paper, the Daily Guide newspaper.
Yes.
Right. So that's the chiefs there.
Yes.
With that press conference. Okay. Yes. AG opposes who to miss bail pending appeal. Oh, Chairman. 2 arrested for killing man at Tuba. That's also on the front page of the Daily Guide.
They were described as lazy. That was the reason why they shot the man. Just imagine. That's how young people are throwing away their life. Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's the car dealer that they shot dead described them as lazy. And
so that was a retaliation.
They are hardworking enough to kill.
Yeah.
Shake-up also had national securities on the front page of the Daily Guide newspaper.
Yeah, many people have described this as Kevin Taylor shake-up. I don't know how truthful that is. Yeah.
I think I saw a tweet just a while before that, but I mean.
Yeah, because Martin Pebu, it's on record to have said that whenever Kevin Taylor comes into the country, he gets national security protection and escort. Right. Yes. And so...
he was recently in town.
Yeah. Yes, of course. And so I'm sure that the powers that be think that something ought to be done. Right. An individual, Osman, has been sent back to the Ghana Police Service for redeployment. And then a former military chief has been brought there to be Deputy National Security Coordinator. GHOne has returned. Some NDC people are not so happy with GHOne. I think they had a terrible experience with him in the past. But people change, so why not give him a chance? Yeah.
All right, so that's it for Daily Guide, Ibrahim.
The Ghanaian publisher this morning. The SDA moved to rescue Agenda 111 after months of government neglect. NPP accuses Chief Justice of weaponizing the courts. Adenta Dodowa Road users cry for help. And Naomi Alabi named curator for 2026 U.S. Home Award Festival. Yeah.
Our next paper is from Republic Press. Legal vacation rule. Atachia calls judges bluff as court orders Edubuahin to get lawyer. Naimos raids Galamsey hotspot. 40 arrested, heavy equipment seized. Naomi Alabi appointed curator for Ghana Cultural Showcase at U.S. Omo Festival. AG opposes Wuntumi's bail application, cite flight risk. IGP promotes 25 officers for robbery, arrest, cocaine interception. Government reaffirms commitment to empower Ghanaian youth on International Youth Day. And that's what Republic Press has for us on their front page.
The Chronicle this morning, GBA takes on judiciary over hearing of high-profile cases during vacation. There's also benefits of local ownership. Damang Mine recruits 400 locals barely 4 months into operations. And that's what we keep saying, that when we have indigenous companies taking these major jobs, we create jobs for ourselves. We give contracts to Chinese companies, and but then they bring their people, they bring the Chinese to run, and then very few Ghanaians in there who are doing the micro minority jobs, and so it's good for us to empower local businesses for them to actually do the jobs. People get employed. We deal with unemployment. It will deal with crime. It will deal with a lot of hardships, and people will be comfortable.
And in the end, the money stays here.
The money stays here because the capital flight alone is crazy, from the telco sector to construction to industry, almost
retail.
Anyways, and the scripture for this morning, Matthew chapter 5 verse 16. In the same way, let your light shine before others so that they may see your good works. And it ends with, they'll give the glory to your Father in heaven.
Yes. So when you have money, don't hide it. Let us see it by giving. Be a cheerful giver. Once we get to know you are a giver.
How are you interpreting that?
Oh no, see, if you have money, it's light. Let it shine.
Yes.
Right? That's
oh
it.
My goodness.
Exactly. And praise God, your maker.
I posted yesterday on my status that a rich man is someone who reaches out to others.
Thank you.
If you don't reach out to others,
you're not reach out to us. No, not that.
My God. Anyway, we have
reach out to us this morning. You are broke. You can't call yourself a rich man.
We have to go for a break. Thank you so much.
That was the 5 verse 16.
Very important.
Okay, you have to go for a break. We'll be back after this break. to the show. This is the Breakfast Review, where we analyze the issues, the topical issues for the day. And as usual, today we have representatives from the NDC communications team and the NPP's communications team. And from the NPP, we have Kemi Musa, who is in the studio to help us understand the stance of the NPP, and Charity Tonguru, who is also from the NDC's team. We are going to talk about the legal vacation brouhaha, the ASCA bribery claims, and also the ministerial reshuffling a while ago. So, good morning, ladies.
Morning, Didi.
Charity, did you sleep well? Okay. Kemi, what about you? You look a bit cheerful this morning. Oh, you have a lot up your sleeves.
Oh, let's just thank God for a new
Okay.
day.
How was your day yesterday with everything that happened?
Well, I'd say it was interesting, especially in the evening.
What made it interesting?
I'm sure you know where I'm headed, but especially with regards to, the legal vacation issue. Honestly, I didn't think that I would wake up and then a matter of contention would be whether a lawyer can go for legal vacation or not. I didn't see that day coming, but here we are, wonders of our present government. Anyway.
Charity, what about you? How was yesterday?
It was awesome because I think that for issues that happened yesterday, it was just to tell us that the authorities have the interest of the nation at heart and wants us to get done with issues that are of more concerns to the citizens of Ghana. Because when it comes to these particular issues, you see that a lot of citizens are waiting anxiously to see the end of it. And so to say that because there is a legal vacation, everything should be put on hold would have meant that the anxiety will rise. And so it's something that had to be done. And to add that this is not the first time.
Okay, Charity, it looks like you're really up for it. I was just asking you how your day was, but let me pick Kemi's thoughts. The NPP have concerns about this whole legal issue, legal vacation, but this is something that has been there. You've enjoyed it during your time. What is the problem with the happenings now with regard to the legal vacation?
Right. So first of all, let me once again greet our viewers. Today being Wednesday, I'm reminded of the famous tweet that Davido made some time ago that if you're going to have a pleasant weekend, you will know from Wednesday. So here is me wishing that, I'm going to have a pleasant weekend. But that's just by the way. So the day is not, first of all, I want to state that this issue cannot even be viewed through a partisan lens. Because as you are well aware, I know that you've seen the letter that, for example, the Ghana Bar Association has issued, basically backing the lawyers for the accused in their claim that, no, this is not how things are usually done. So, and you see, it's not in dispute that we know that legal vacations are part of the judicial calendar. We've known that. And it's not in dispute that even during legal vacations, there is, they make up for the gap with vacation courts.
Exactly.
You understand? So it's not that, we are not saying that this is something new or something that has never been done. But then it is the circumstances surrounding these issues. Now, let me just say that for me, I'm going to premise my submissions based on the letter that the Ghana Bar Association issued, because I agree with all the points they raised. So that is what is going to guide my submission. But even before I delve into the contents of the letter, I don't know if you happened or got the opportunity to listen to, should I say, the lead counsel for Irubuahene, that Samuel Atachia. Yesterday, I think after the issue came up, some media platforms got him, interviewed him. And of course, he registered his displeasure at the way in which the matter was being handled.
Because he has a lot of concerns. What specifically?
And he's in his right to do so, I mean. So I was listening to one of the interviews in particular where he made mention of the fact that, look, we didn't even just get up and say that we are not going to show. we wrote letters to the Chief Justice, and we communicated that we are unavailable. We have other commitments, etc. And you see, there's a reason why there's a legal vacation in the same place. If you know any lawyer personally, you know that what they do is no child's play.
They need rest.
It entails a lot. Exactly, Didi. I mean, the proponents of the law and the people that made the rules, they are sensible. Why? You think they just got up and decided to say that we'll just go and sleep somewhere for 2 months? No, there's a reason why. A legitimate reason why.
But there's a portion in the CI 47 that gives it an exemption. For instance, the CJ has a discretion to single out certain cases.
No problem.
So the problem, okay, make a submission.
I'll get to that, don't worry. I want to take it step by step so that people can have a fair idea of why people are not really agreeing with the stance of the CJ and then the Attorney General in this instance. So, of course, lead counsel has said no. As of yesterday, per the interview I had, he even still says he will not be showing up. I don't know if he has changed his mind as of this morning.
We haven't heard anything of that.
But yesterday, in the interview I listened, he said no, he will not still be showing up because it's in his right. And he has duly informed the court. Also, like I said, the Ghana Bar Association, whose national president is lawyer Mrs. Ifagati, somebody I truly do admire. Also, she undersigned the letter anyway. They've also registered their concerns, and basically they've called on the Chief Justice to uphold the rules of a legal vacation. Now, let me delve into, I want to try and summarize it for the sake of time as best as I can. First of all, let me reiterate the fact that the Ghana Bar Association in itself is that one body that deals with matters involving lawyers in the country. You understand? They do their very best to promote professionalism and ethical standards. So, given their standing, they have every right to comment on judicial issues of this nature. You get me? So, for a body like that to come out, and I must say, I really like the way they handle themselves as an authority. You never really see them trying to interfere, in political issues and that sort. I think they really do go about their matters well. So for them to issue a letter, that should tell you that, well, this cannot even be viewed from partisan lens. This is not about just MPP saying that, oh, no, we have issues. And like I was watching the program earlier you were on, you know that even a researcher has even sued also. I'm interested to know how that will play out.
Definitely.
So, of course, the MPP also yesterday, I saw that Justin Kodia, General Secretary, also, issued a statement in that regard, registering our discontentment with the way the issue was resolved.
And in that statement, you made some demands that would come to, because I really want to understand what is informing such demands on the judge. But hold on your thoughts. Charity, I think the NPP has some concerns with the choice of cases that have been singled out. What is your response to that?
Okay, so let me say a very good morning to your beautiful self and to the good citizens of Ghana and to my colleague, Kemi. Now, I would come to the cases that they have or the concerns they have. But you see, like I was saying, when we come to the issues of accountability of recent cases, it is very interesting to know that now citizens are very, very demanding of accountability than we used to see in the past. People are so interested in these cases, and it's making it more demanding for the legal authorities, the state officials, to fast-track cases with this kind of concerns. And so, you see, another thing is that it is something that we have seen before. It's not as if this is the first time we are seeing court cases or hearing court cases during the legal vacation. Now, I would like to know some of the concerns that they are raising, because when you look at the happenings of yesterday, the Deputy Attorney General came in with other state officials, right? And there were about 5 that came with him. This is to show how interested and how committed they are to serving the nation. And so I think that the council for Edubuahin should have done him some good if he really is interested in his freedom. Because we all know that these are cases that are supposed to be dealt with and done with quickly so that everyone will get to understand our state. And for Edubuahin himself and the wife to get their freedom. So for the council to have sat behind and left the Edubuahin himself to appear in court, you see, it wouldn't have been wrong for the judge at that particular moment to proceed with the cases. But he still had the empathy to say that, okay, so the council is not there to defend you. So because of that, we are going to allow you to go and make arrangements. So that was generous on the part of the judge.
But in Edubuahin's defense, he said he had written to the Chief Justice and the court's weighing copy of the decision to not attend court because he was on vacation.
Yes, that's true. He had written, but as to whether he was granted that permission is in question. And so from happenings, we get to know that he wasn't granted that permission to stay off court. So he was supposed to come. Yes. And so he wasn't there. The court was generous to say that, okay, go and prepare and come in 6 days. And you see, listening to the deputy attorney, he said that yesterday would have been the last day he was supposed to appear in court. So like I was asking, if he was actually interested in the freedom of his clients, he would have just appeared yesterday, and that would have been the end of his appearance. And then from there, the other processes continued. So I don't know the reason why he decided, because if from yesterday you wouldn't have to appear in court again till somewhere in November, according to the submissions of the deputy attorney, then I don't know how just yesterday was a problem. And to say that he, the lead counsel, might not have been in the country is something that shouldn't prevent the whole legal counsel not to come. Because I don't think that they only have one. It's only Atache who is representing. There should be other lawyers.
He explained that per the nature of the case, he cannot delegate the case to someone else. He has to be in the picture.
He has to be.
But I want to know the reasons. That's your second question. What really informed, that's the Chief Justice's discretion anyway. But I think the MPP's concern is the choice of cases that have been singled out. And that makes it look like government is looking for a particular result in the words of Atachia yesterday. So what is the explanation for that?
What does he mean by the choice of cases? What is the reason behind him asking for the choice of cases?
He says there are some murder cases that are not singled out, but why is Edubuahin and then Hanan's cases trying to be hurried up?
Again, it is not only the 2 cases that are being heard during this particular time of legal vacation. We have many more cases. According to information around, we have about 31 cases that are sitting on cases, 31 courts with judges that are sitting on cases. So is he trying to say that throughout the country, the 31 judges that are sitting on cases, they are all handling Atachia's case and like cases that he is supposed to be handling? So I beg to differ from his concerns, because it cannot be true that because he is handling 2 cases and those 2 cases happens to be part of 31 cases, then he's being targeted, or maybe there's some kind of fishy, I don't know what he sought to say by that, but I feel that he would have done us a whole lot of good by just appearing yesterday, and then from there processes will continue, as we understand that he wouldn't have been required to be in court again for the remaining months coming till November.
Kemi, doesn't the NPP think that it's probably a bad decision that Atachia didn't show up in court yesterday?
I don't think we've not relayed that information. No, so it's not in our place to say whether or not the NPP feels like it's a good decision.
But I mean, the concerns you are raising, people say that Atachia may have his reasons, tangible reasons, but it's the way he's going about it.
How is he going about it?
There's an appropriate way. If
he wrote a letter on the 5th of August, per my research, and he relayed to the court that,
does it end there?
No. But then yesterday, when I was even listening to him speak, he said nobody has actually served him formally to say that, no, we don't agree and that you should appear. He mentioned something like that. You understand? See, let's not try to trivialize this issue.
You think the NDC is doing that?
Yes. They're trying to make it look like, he's just being petty. This is an issue that the Ghana Bar Association has written a letter. And in the letter, if you read the contents, I'd be glad if, people read it's a short one. They raised pertinent points as to why they believe that the Chief Justice should uphold the rules concerning legal vacation. It's been a long-standing tradition. And you see, even before I delve into that, I was going to raise that point that don't you think that is very interesting that the only political cases being heard are the ones involving NPP members?
Charity believes there are other cases.
In fact, there are no other cases. I said the only political cases. First of all,
it could be mere coincidence, Kemi.
Oh, please. I don't believe in that. Let me take us back to the fact that this is the same administration, the AG's office, when they took power in 2025. One of the very first things they did was to discontinue a number of cases that were being heard. And if you do your research, it's glaring to see that these cases I'm speaking of involved known members of the NDC,
irrespective of their
and
party,
their sympathizers. They discontinued
the argument
all
is
those
that
cases.
They did not have a case against them.
What do you expect? What other argument do you think they would give you?
But is that not enough
interesting
reason
to see? Why not? If you believe that this case holds no water in layman's terms, why not allow due process? If you believe that you have a mountain of evidence to show that, no, this case, should be thrown out of court, why the urgency to discontinue all those cases? What message does that send to the ordinary Ghanaian? Put that aside. Now, like I said, I never thought we'd wake up and then what is in headlines is the issue of legal vacation, whether lawyers who have worked. And this is something that has legal backing, as you mentioned. Yesterday, when I was reading the letter, I got to know that it's made provision for in the High Court procedural rules, I think 2004 CI 47.
Yeah.
Yes. It says that the second part, I think, of their legal vacation is from August 1st to September 30th. So it has legal backing. It's not some lawyer, someone Atachia just saying that, no, on my own accord. This is something that, and it's a long-standing tradition. It's something that we know exists and is part of their judicial calendar. Now, so I said, my submission is going to be premised on the letter that GBA wrote, because I agree with them totally. And that letter actually informed me, I got to learn a lot from that. So that's why I think that everybody should just, have a read. They said, I think the matter came to their attention after some law firms wrote to them, of course, relaying their displeasure at the fact that, warrants have been issued, where the Chief Justice saying that some judges should sit on cases, this case we are speaking of, irrespective of the fact that, it's time for the legal vacation. So the GBA in the letter, they took their time to explain to us that, okay, so this is the legal backing, first of all, excuse me, that allows for this. It's not just in vacuum, you understand. And if you read the letter, they try to explain that given what they do, the law fraternity, it entails a lot. So it is reasonable that, yes, lawyers should have a break. It is their right. Then they also made us, you see, another thing that the NDC so conveniently leaves us is, if you read the letter, the GBA makes us know that, yes, there's vacation courts, but as a long-standing tradition, they do not hear cases of this nature. They are only there to deal with emergency and urgent cases.
And not trials.
Thank you. It's never been done.
But you see, I think we are also forgetting about the discretionary portion in that clause. That
and nobody is saying that he does not. Of course. I mean, that's why we are, having a conversation about this. It's at his discretion. But you see, it is important for us to remember that the judicial system is made up of different segments. You understand? And you see, this is not Kemi saying this. I am even basing my submission on a letter written by the body that represents the interest of lawyers across the country. That should say something, doesn't it? This is not just MP. I'm not even basing it on MPP's statement that they issued. This is, I'm telling you, I'm giving you content of the reasons why the GBA thinks that the Chief Justice should uphold the rules of legal vacation. So it's not even a partisan issue, if you ask me. It can't be viewed at that. GBA is not a political body.
They represent lawyers.
Thank you. It's not a political body.
Okay, Charity. Kemi thinks the NDC is trivializing this issue.
To begin with, I would like to say that for Kemi to be thinking that because the Ghana Bar Association has written, I would want to be careful because of the legal implications. But you see, the Ghana Bar Association has also been around to know that though it has a legal backing, the legal vacation has a legal backing, it has also been around to witness that there were also cases that were being sat on or heard during the legal vacation. So why is it that in all those periods, they never issued any letter countering the sitting or the hearing of those cases? Is this the first time? So you see, I think that even there should be an interest, or it should begin to raise concerns as to why today, all of a sudden, the Ghana Bar Association will have to be so much interested in these cases. What is happening? What is it that we do not know about? Because if yesterday cases were being heard during a legal vacation, and today cases are being heard or being sat on throughout the country, out of those ones, you only choose to talk about the two. What is it that we need to know? And so to keep on referring to the letter that has been written by the GBA, I think that she's rather letting Ghanaians or opening the eyes of Ghanaians to ask questions about why they are also interested in those cases. And to mention that the NDC came to power and then made do or allowed some cases to die off because they are being seen as linked to the NDC. I don't think she didn't mention any particular case, but I would like to give one particular case. In the case of the Minister of Finance, the Honorable Atuforsen. In his case like this, what was there to hold on to? Because throughout their 8 years in government, they were not able to find any evidence that would have to convict him. Aside to say, and again, I'm being careful because we were here when we heard evidences of people that were recorded for trying to conspire to just jail the gentleman because they felt that they had to go and take up his seat. I'm not the one saying it. The evidences are there. Video, audio recordings.
From where?
You didn't hear that case? During the ambulance?
I heard that, but like the videos, what specific videos are you talking about?
Audio,
the leaked audio.
The leaked audio. You saw it, right? And so what other evidence was there for you to get to know that there was no case against the Honorable Atuforsen?
But that audio, what's the correlation?
It was a correlation.
The leaked audio from the former Attorney General?
Yes. So it had to, it was to confirm What I'm saying is to confirm the fact that they had no case against the Honorable Atuforsen.
Okay.
But the former Attorney General was captured or was being seen or heard on a video, on an audio recording leaked, that he was telling someone or conspiring with someone to just bring false evidences against
just to get the conviction.
Just to get the conviction. So if we have such an audio, what again do you need to say that the man was innocent and so you have to discontinue the cases?
But you know the same statement you made about the former Attorney General, the NPP, or not necessarily the NPP. Some people are also saying that the NDC is actually doing the same thing.
No, but you see, that one is out here for us to see.
Because you're just fast-tracking the cases because you want to get a particular result. That is what Atachia believes.
That is because they did so. So they are thinking that the NDC is doing
We did so, but you came to me the cases and you discontinued them.
And I'm saying
that's contradictory, isn't it?
Listen.
You said, what did you, for the past 8 years, what if we had evidence?
So
now we are fast tracking now, but in another breath, we are fast tracking.
Listen to me. You will get to understand what I'm saying. I'm saying that the reason why she is saying that we came and let all the cases go because they are affiliated with NDC. And I am saying that if she had mentioned one particular case, then we would have seen
Can I give you about 5?
No.
Okay,
so let me
finish.
finish.
Done, yes.
So you see, I gave a specific case of the ambulance cases, right? Ambulance scandal. And I'm saying that the former Attorney General was caught on tape conspiring with someone to just implicate the Honorable Atuforsen. So there was evidence to show that there was no case against the gentleman, right? And so based on this, if the attorney, this is what I know, but amongst other cases, finds out that there are no cases or evidence against the people, they should keep on dragging them when there is no case. Notwithstanding, you see, you can't say that because you did those things and the current government is in power trying everything possible to ensure that we get accountability. You don't say that because you did that, then we might also be doing, because you don't have evidence, right? Because when we came into power, and you see, the Honorable Dr. Dominic Ayine is someone who has built a very reputable reputation over the years and would not like to give that out or spill it over, trying to cover someone up. And so when he came, you would see that, and you see, within the NDC, one beautiful thing about the NDC is that people within the party will take you on. And so when he came, people were like, he was being slow on the cases and everything.
And this pressure was from your party?
From the party. And even within the citizens, or people who are not affiliated with the NDC.
Does that not suggest to say that the AG is now under so much pressure?
So I'm saying that he took his time, got to understand the nature of the cases before he commenced any investigations that was supposed to be done. But if you want to say that maybe he's fast-tracking, the court proceedings are there to tell. With the case of the Ashanti Regional Chairman, we saw the proceedings. So what is there to point out that there was no evidence against him? And so because of that, maybe the cases are not being legally, there's anything against him just because he's a political, he's in the political space. Because cases were sat on, evidences came. He worked with someone, he handed over a concession to someone. The fellow came to give evidences against him. So what is there for you to say that he's just fast-tracking things just because maybe pressure was on him? There was no pressure.
Okay.
At the time when he was being pressured, he never listened. He is a man who does not do things because of public. Like I said, he has his own reputation to protect. And so he took his time, understudied the cases, understood them before he started with the processes. And so I beg for the MPP to always try to refer, because they did those things and they are thinking that is the same thing that is happening. Like we said, it is a reset agenda, and every aspect of the nation, be the economy, be legal, everywhere is supposed to be reset. And so under this administration, there's nothing that is fishy. We are embarking on the legal processes that are supposed to be followed, and everyone aside people who are somehow affiliated to the opposition who just want to be biased will attest to the fact that these are the things that they want to see.
Okay, Kemi, we'll talk about the demands of the NPP and also the AG has also posed a bail application for Wontumi, but I think you would want to rebut.
Yes, so just give me a few minutes to clarify some of the false claims that my co-panelist here has made.
False claims, okay.
Yes, because for me, I feel like she's been contradicting herself in her submission. On one breath, I was listening attentively. She says that if we had enough evidence, we wouldn't have needed 8 years, why is the matter still in court for that long? But in another breath, you are saying that because we did the same thing, are we fast-tracking cases if you came to meet them?
The same thing was not about fast-tracking.
Anyway, she also mentioned that I didn't specify cases involved. Let me give her a few. I thought it was public knowledge, but obviously maybe she's not in the know. The Republic versus Kwabena Dufo and 7 others. It was regarding the Unibank collapse. The monies involved were over 600 million Ghana cedis. Collins Dauda and others. The Sagleme housing case. The money involved was under over $200 million. Dr. Johnson, Pandit Esiama, the UC case, the Unibank cases, that as well has been squashed. Dr. Ernest Thompson, John Hagan Mensah, Peter Ibor, the Senate OBS case. The money involved was over $40 million. Dr. Stephen Oponi, Seidu, Agongo, the Cocoa Board fertilizer case. The money involved was over 200 million Ghana cedis. And for Madam said, Dinam's matter, let me not even go there. But these are just a few of the cases. So I've given her that information. I'm sure that she would have the time to do her research.
And she gave reasons. No, she gave reasons that.
But I don't expect her to say anything else, to be honest. Fine. She's in the right to give her reasons.
I expect that, like I did explain on the case of the ambulance case, she should also give evidences to show.
No, but that's not. Is that the topic for today? I was just making an inference.
Okay.
Because I was building my case.
What's your point?
To say exactly? That is it not double standards to you to say that you promised oral, that is, you were going to fight corruption. But what don't you think that it's a bit hypocritical on your part?
What exactly makes it?
And one of the first things you do is discontinue all the cases that involve your people. And you're trying to justify this. If you have a case and you think that you have a mountain of evidence enough to go and get your people off these charges, why not allow for due process?
That's established. That's established. But the issue right now...
Look at the urgency with which they are conducting the trials involving some non-MPP people. I was on another platform, we were speaking about the Wontumi case when it came up. And I made reference, I mentioned other cases involving Galamsey where people had been named. Where people had been named, and around the same time that the Wontumi case came up, we've not even heard a report, as much as a report about those cases. But see how fast Wontumi's own has been adjudged.
But
fine,
okay.
No problem. Now let me go back to what the issue is at hand. So like I said...
Kemi, I think you have a problem with your mic.
Let
me engage a Charity whilst you get that fixed. Charity, I'm sure you have a lot of things you want to say to Kemi's stance.
So you see, I think Kemi didn't understand what I meant by if they think because of what they did, we are also doing the same. I think you came in to say that the NPP feels that because of what they did. And that was to say that they didn't have, because I mentioned that they didn't have evidence against in the ambulance case. They didn't have any evidence to show that the Honorable Atoforsen had done anything against the state, right? And you said that it's like they are also saying we are also doing the same thing. So I came back to tell her that.
That's not what I said, though.
You mentioned that.
I am just saying that it is a bit weird. And I think even a one-eyed man can see that. Even the very revered Martin Amidu. This is not somebody who is MPP or NDC. He is a known, I will speak my mind and speak the truth person. I don't know if you have seen his comments regarding this issue we are speaking about the discontinuation of the cases. So fine, for me, I represent the MPP, so you can say that I'm speaking for my party. What about his comments? You don't think that he is an authority enough to also share those sentiments? See, let's not do this. But anyway, Dede, like I said, that for me, I honestly want to make my point about, the issue at hand. Yes. So I've mentioned that in the letter, GBA let us know that there's a legal backing. Another thing I found very interesting, and I wasn't even in the know, is that traditionally speaking, the courts apparently cannot even compel a lawyer to appear in a vacation court if they are not around. If you read the letter, it makes that known. I didn't even know that. So basically what they sought to let us know was that, yes, vacation courts are there, but then substantially it is linked to the availability of the counsel to begin with. So once counsel lets you know that, unfortunately, I may not be around or cannot represent my clients during this date, we have to adjourn. The court has to see reason and adjourn the case. I'm not the one saying it, it's in the letter.
It's on the discretion of the court.
Anyway.
Okay.
And then lastly, they also, were a bit worried about, the whole allowing the accused to represent themselves if they are not able to produce. As yesterday we got to know, their lawyers in 6 days. I think that was the ultimatum.
That was yesterday, so it's 5
so
days
it's
now.
5 now. They used a word there that, stood out to me. They said, under no circumstance can an accused person be coerced to represent him or herself because their lawyer is not available due to a legal violation.
If you use the word coerced, I'm a bit concerned because I'm not sure that's what
because
the judge...
it's like you are giving them... No. So if let's say now, the 5 days is up and Atachia is not available, which he has made known to the court already, you are compelling the people involved them to represent themselves.
But Edubwai has the opportunity to also get an interim
within 6
lawyer.
days, within 5 days.
What if he has the resources for that?
Oh, okay. I guess we'll never know. But then, using the reasonable man test, you think that is enough time? A criminal case of this nature, and you see it's 5 days, so the new lawyer is supposed to gather all the necessary information and evidence, get himself abreast with the case, and all within 5 days.
But you see, the judge in this matter did not just wake up and come and sit on this case. There was a warrant by the Chief Justice. And his argument is that if the counsel for Edubwai has a problem with this issue, he should take it up with the Chief Justice. And that's what I want to ask. Aside the letter he had written in copy of the court, the judge, and then the Chief Justice, I think there are other procedures that he can explore to make sure that, because at the center of all this is his client.
Yeah. Of course.
So at the end of the day, what happens to his clients now?
Well, I guess we'll live to see. But then, like I was saying, when I was listening to him yesterday, granting an interview on one of the platforms, he mentioned that he had not even received... I mean, I can't tell you for sure what the process is in this case. Is that, okay, so when counsel writes to the court to say that, sorry, I'm not available, what is the due process for that? But I remember him saying that, I'm not quoting him verbatim, but something along the lines of, he hasn't even been informed formally. I'm guessing he's expecting that to be done in writing.
Does he have to be informed?
Well, like you are saying, there has to be a process. You and I obviously do not know what it entails, But then I'm sure we'll hear more about this issue. But then you see, there's an excerpt I want to read from the letter that, I found interesting.
GBA letter.
No, I mean, so you don't think that the Ghana Bar Association is authority enough to speak on such issues? Because it doesn't suit your agenda.
Why do you?
You have to be careful, the line you are threading. Really?
I didn't.
No,
this is an
let
institution.
her explain the reason she feels that way.
Like
No, I didn't say that.
No, I'm not reading the NPP statement too.
I'm not saying you are reading the NPP statement.
Okay.
But I don't know why all of a sudden you have chosen to just go by the GBA's letter.
Because I feel like they are...
But the GBA represent the lawyers.
And I am saying
and
that...
the interest of their
lawyers.
lawyers.
I am saying that it is interesting to note that all of a sudden the GBA also has an interest in this singular case.
If you are doing that, you are not being fair. You are not being fair to the GBA.
So the same thing that we are all asking.
Have we ever
understand why? We have had cases during legal vacation, but we have not had the GBA coming up
to see such an issue being a bone of contention before that. Lawyers regarding their legal vacation.
No.
So it's unfair for you to say that, why is it that all of a sudden, obviously there's an issue. They have given what they do, they represent lawyers and their interests. And like I said, if you go into their mandate, they try to uphold ethical standards. You get me? Listen, I believe that they are in the right and they have the authority to air their views and also advise the Chief Justice on what they feel is the way forward or how the issue to be handled. Which better authority than the GBA in this issue? If it was just the MPP's statement we're going by, you would have said, it's partisan. Of course. They were going to oppose everything that says, because we want our people to be free. No. But this is an independent body. They don't care about your party colors. All they care about is upholding the standards of the rule of law. And you see, our judiciary is such a crucial part of our governance today. And I was going to read an excerpt, if you allow me, where they stated in the letter that it is in respect of this time-honored tradition.
Which paragraph? Because I have a copy.
I just, in my notes, I would, so I don't know if you can locate it anyway. Okay. But in respect of this time-honored tradition that we write, so by that they are referring to all the reasons they've given as to why they feel like the lawyers should be allowed in this case. In respect of all of this time-honored tradition that we write, as any attempt to do otherwise, with or without a warrant, will smack of bias or selective justice. That is a deep statement. That is a very deep statement.
So what's your point exactly?
So the underlying word selective justice, it has a deep...
Say what?
This one's what to explain. Come on. Yes, really. You don't understand selective justice? What do you mean by that? Come on.
Okay, let's do other stories. I think we've
so let me say. Okay, let me clarify, because she made mention that I was contradicting myself, and I know very well that I did not contradict myself. First of all, I said that based on the fact that she said the NDC came and discontinued cases. And so I gave a specific example where the former Attorney General did not have any evidence, and for that matter, had to kind of indulge in certain behaviors that were not even supposed to be in the case of someone in the legal profession. And so I gave that example, and so I was like, because of that, the AG came and had to take his time in order to be able to understand the nature of the cases before he starts them. And when I mentioned that, even at that time when he was taking his time, people within the party of the current AG were putting pressure on him.
Your party?
Yes, my party. So comes to pressure.
Listen, please. So that you get what I meant. So when I said that,
let her make a point.
When I said that, then you said that. So does it mean that we are also fast tracking because they in opposition, or when they were in government, did that?
We did not fast track.
Even if they did, let's just say.
So I'm saying that.
Shouldn't she be doing?
You mentioned. You see, where she thought I contradicted myself was when I said the attorney was being the members of the party expected him to fast track, to start with the cases, because you see, we those who are not in the legal profession will just think that, the case is clear. We have evidences. We have this and this. We see the video. But it takes more than that. So this current Attorney General decided to understudy the cases. And so people were getting so anxious and started complaining. And I said that. Then you came in to say that, does it mean that because of that, we are also trying to, the MPP feel that we don't have evidences against the cases and we are proceeding with them. And I said that because they did not have evidences, especially in the Abola's case, and they proceeded with it. So that was what I meant by because they did that in their term of office. They are thinking that the current Attorney General is doing same. So I did not say that you people fast-track issues. I said that you didn't have evidences and you proceeded with the cases.
I see.
Because I mentioned, that's why she said, I contradicted. I mentioned that over the period of 8 years, why didn't they? So that issue of contradiction
that point has been made clear.
Yes.
Is there anything you want to add?
I don't know where Charity may have heard the former AG's office issue a statement saying that we didn't have enough evidence. Anyway, she's allowed to.
No, I have given you
we have to move on to other matters.
Now, so I also want to put on record that in as much as she's saying that the Ghana Bar Association has the authority to write and that there is nothing, they have the legal right, I also want to put on record that there is nothing illegal about having court procedures during the legal vacation. That is
established.
Yes, so it's not also illegal. She shouldn't make it look like it's illegal.
I don't know why she feels like I'm making it look illegal. There are issues that have been raised. This is a particular circumstance.
And so I'm only saying that just
I think Kemi's point is the choices of cases, not the entire idea of legal
says that
vacation.
There are no
I'm
vacation
not saying,
courts.
you only mentioned that the GBA have the authority and it is legal. And I'm also stating that having cases or hearing cases during the legal vacation is not also illegal.
Irrespective of the cases
that are being heard. It's not illegal.
Exactly.
It's also legal.
And nobody said it was. Or was
Your concern is just the type of cases
that are... There are circumstances guarding this particular issue that we are speaking of.
Okay.
You understand? So we can't trivialize those issues that have been raised. They are legitimate concerns. Things have been done a certain way over time. That is what we know to be the quote and unquote, let me use the word right way. They have even, like I said, I've now been even duly informed that when counsel says, well, I cannot appear during the vacation, period, it is usually, well, I'm trying to be careful here.
You have a gentleman's talk and have an agreement.
Thank you. I saw yesterday someone's post on Facebook that he's been going to court a lot. And he's realized that there's a kind of relationship even between the judges and counsel, where they try to sometimes, depending on, the dates, they try to be accommodating, because at the end of the day, it's one end game, the dispensation of justice, is it not? You get me? So let's not try to make it look like the MPP. And see, that's why I'm really happy that the Ghana Bar Association issued a letter, because trust me, if it was just the MPP statement, hey...
So the AG has opposed the bail application by Chairman Wontumi. Did that come to you as a surprise?
Yes and no. First of all, let me say that, when the judgment even came about, I've had the opportunity to speak about it on other platforms. I have my reservations with the judgment anyway. But that's another discussion maybe for another day. But then, where I am a bit confused is, I also want to know why. He said that he cited reasons like flight risk, etc.
They fear Wontumi might flee.
I don't think that's a very fair assessment, given how Wontumi handled himself.
But that's a possibility.
We will never know. But you can't say for certain.
And there's also another reason where they believe the appeal will not be successful.
That's another issue. The courts will, at the end of the day, decide whether or not they feel like the appeal can go on. So I think we should leave that for the court to decide. But then, the reason that was making airwaves that he gave was, about the fact that he can abscond and all of that. And I'm saying that, per my research, I got to know that this man's passport has even been with the courts for about a year.
Akemi, you and I know that people have ways of...
Oh, did they? People have ways. I cannot sit here and tell you on authority that this is the outcome if he's granted bail.
Definitely.
But you also cannot sit here and say for sure that he's going to abscond.
Exactly.
No. You understand? So let's not lean towards one, what's the word I'm looking for? possible outcome. You and I don't know. And I am basing my, I think it's a bit unfair, and I'm basing it on the fact that I followed the trial, and I saw the way he conducted himself throughout the trial. Listen, this man availed himself throughout the whole trial.
For videos.
We've been in this country, and we've seen people that absconded in the middle of trials, and we didn't see them again till the party came into power. Am I telling lies? Everything you say that
some are also on the run.
They did happen or not? But who is the person? Mention it. Let me give you an answer.
You are making the allegation, so
okay.
mention who do you have in mind?
Really?
Okay.
Why is this a secret? So you should mention the person.
The former finance minister.
Who has stopped you from trying Ofiata? Try him in absentia. If you have evidence, go to court.
We'll get there.
Thank you. So nobody has stopped them. So as for that issue that they like to bring, try him if you have evidence. Who has stopped you? Anyway,
okay.
So I'm saying that I feel it's a bit unfair. The law allows for application, for you to apply for a bail pending, even when you have been convicted. In the past, let me cite when I think Atu Asian, somewhere I think 2015, he was convicted to 15 years. He was granted bail.
After he served for a while.
Thank you. It's not unknown or alien. So for me, I don't think
that.
Oh no.
Okay.
The reason that he may ask, if you want to see somebody who absconded, won't you see? Somebody that availed himself to the very last day. He's currently even in cells. I mean, come on.
All right. So we'll have to take a very quick break. We'll come back and have a discussion about the new ministers we have now. And hold on. And then we'll also talk about the ASCA deal. This is still GH Today. We'll be back after this break. first review, we've been discussing issues surrounding the legal vacation as well as the AG's opposition to Chairman Monsumi's bail application pending appeal. And I have on the studio Kemi Musa. She's with the NPP's communications team, and Charity, who is with the NDC. Charity was trying to make her submission before we went on a break. So
on the bail conditions,
you wanted to rebut what Kemi said.
That was on Monsumi's case. So I think that it is rather interesting.
What's interesting?
That the same lawyer who is crying to go on legal vacation is the same lawyer who is working, because this one is also part of the legal processes, right? And I don't understand why you'll be going back and forth. On one bread, you are not available to handle certain cases. On another bread, you have appealed. And so
those are two different instances. One is a trial and one is an application, like a motion.
Yes, but still there will be processes, and he might be called, right? He could be called.
He could do online.
Thank you.
Kemi.
So all right, notwithstanding, I think that the attorney had made it clear that looking at the strength of the appeal, it's not something that has any substance that would see light at the end of the day. And for the final case that is coming up, for the counsel for Wontumi to say that he needs him, because I think that was one of the reasons that he says he needs him to prepare for the next hearing.
Okay.
And then I think the attorney was saying that it's almost about the last case and so the last hearing, and there is nothing new to be done that for which you would need the presence
of Wontumi.
So actually, there was no basis for which they have to grant him bail.
Okay.
Yes, and so for the public to know, it is not as if someone is aimed at punishing another one. Wontumi has been convicted, and so he can keep on serving until the bail is the appeal
will be heard.
Is heard, and whatever judgment that comes out of it, we will all get to know.
Okay.
And that is not supposed to say that someone is targeting another person to always make it look like they are politically molesting another person.
Okay.
It shouldn't be that way.
That established. Let's move away and talk about the Aska bribery case. How did that strike you as a rep from the NDC?
So you see, it has taught me a very huge lesson to say that as a government official, the states, once the state handles you mantle of leadership, it means that the state requires more from you. It is responsibility to the state. In as much as you benefit from the state, you have to live up to expectations. And so that is to say that you need to be very careful in decisions that you take. Sometimes you might just be sitting somewhere trying to ensure that you do the right thing. Before you realize, someone will come and muddy the waters for you. Why do I say that? When you look at this Aska deal, you see the person currently that has been convicted wasn't a government appointee. This is a businessman who is also a citizen of the US, and so maybe might have seen the juicy nature of the deal and tried everything possible to ensure that he gets others to maybe facilitate in getting the deal, right? So I was just saying that looking at also the number of years that it had to take for this conviction to come, and then it is coming to have an effect on the appointees at that time, it only tells us that we need to be extra careful once you are handled a certain mantle of leadership too.
And this particular caution goes to which party exactly?
Not a party. This one, I'm talking about anyone. It could be anyone.
Well,
right.
The AG says that they would see to...
I'm coming to that.
Okay.
So I'm only saying that it is something that should teach us, everyone else, a lesson that once you are in that position, you need to be very cautious of the kind of decisions you take. And even, especially, if you are not the one orchestrating it, someone comes to you to undertake certain deals. Notwithstanding, it is also in order that the AG has ordered the GHOne to commence investigations into to ensure that any official, because we have heard of, not names necessarily, but people that are supposed to have been in certain positions that have been cited, and speculations are going on. People will obviously want to align you to certain, or to that particular deal to say that maybe you are guilty, right? But you see, he has been convicted in that jurisdiction, and it is left unto the nation or the state here to also commence or to conduct investigations into the individuals that have been cited, to also come to a realization that maybe they were actually involved in this scandal or not. And the AG has made it clear that the GHOne and the attorney altogether have been involved in the process all throughout, and so they have gotten to get certain facts or evidences, certain information that will help them in the investigation. So this is a good one to say that, based on the fact that they had been in coordination with the U.S. authorities, it will help us to be able to understudy this particular case, the individuals that are supposed to be here in Ghana very well. And at the end of the day, if anyone, by any chance, is found guilty or is kind of implicated in any deal, I'm sure that the state will take its course on the individuals.
Kemi, you see this prosecution seeing the light of day?
If I answer this question, I don't know. I might find myself wanting, so I plead the fifth.
What do you mean by that?
Don't worry. We wait to see. But then I will just start off by saying that, of course, we in opposition, and I think Ghanaians at large, will always welcome investigations of this nature. Because at the end of the day, if let me say, this is an embarrassment to us as a nation. I mean, you don't want to wake up and see headlines, international and local headlines, citing, public officials being alleged to be involved, scandals of this nature. I don't think any Ghanaian at heart was happy when this issue came about. And for some of us, we got to know, when he blew up after we heard that he had been convicted. But upon further research, apparently the offices that we've mentioned, GHOne, OSP's office, etc., they've actually been in coordination with the authorities since, I think, last year. And, because they reached out to them for some information. So I think one legitimate question being asked is, some people are like, so this is not even new to the offices, GHOne, for example. So, I mean, why has it even taken this long for us to get to this point? But anyway, so you see, my sister here mentioned that, now it is going to commence its investigations. It's not actually now they are commencing. Even the AG's statements, it's something that they started looking into last year because they reached out to them, that office. So this is just a further investigation to establish their own evidence. And of course, I think Ghanaians as a whole want to know. They are demanding accountability. It's a corruption scandal. Nobody likes corruption, irrespective of your party colors. So we are just hoping that the investigation actually takes place, and it's not made into any witch hunting if people are found culpable, they should be brought to justice. Irrespective of, where you belong. People that are found guilty, that, they have irrefutable evidence, they should be brought to justice to answer for it.
Are you confident in a system that would happen?
I am hoping that will happen. I am hoping.
Charity, the former power minister has come out to debunk the allegations of his affiliation to this particular deal and through his lawyers. As a layman, how do you see this panning out? There are ways we expect. By now, we should see some action. We know that Iyoko has come out. We know that OSP is also in the offing. But how fast do you expect this to go?
So, like I said, again, she said that I said they are commencing, but it had taken since last year. But that is to say that one was they were in coordination to give certain information that were needed
to aid the
conviction of Mr. Beko in the US and not any individual here. So now that case has been settled, we are about to see the commencement of the investigations with regards to the individuals or the positions that were being held at that time and the people that are speculated to have been, or the names that have been mentioned that he was supposed to have conducted a deal with them. Right. So now this is the investigations that are supposed to be commenced. And just like the former minister has come out, the lawyers have come out to state categorically clear that he has not met with the man before or to have taken anything. You see, I said that investigations are going to be conducted, and we should have hope. We should have the faith in the state authorities to know that this is something that is of interest to anyone. Like we have all said, irrespective of your political colors. I don't think I would be proud to stand somewhere and say that, oh, this person is my party member and he was involved in any corrupt deal, right? I wouldn't be that proud. So, and I'm very sure the attorney himself will not be proud of that. So I am saying that we should have faith in the state authorities to allow them to continue with the investigations. Because, like I said, I mentioned earlier, investigations have concluded over there. They got in touch with them and they have certain information that can help with the investigations that will be commenced here. And so, like others, like the minister, the former minister, others have also come out to say that they are not also guilty of whatever that has happened. And in our jurisdiction, we know that once you are kind of suspected of something, it doesn't prove that you are guilty until investigations are concluded, right? So we need to have faith, like I said, and then wait on the state officials or the state authorities to conduct investigations. And at the end of the day, whoever that is implicated or whoever that is found guilty, I am sure and I trust the current attorney to do justice.
I'm sure having faith to some people, especially some few people who follow me on Twitter, is far-fetched, because I remember when the story broke and I wrote a tweet concerning how this will put oral to test. There were some comments about people saying that they don't think government would prosecute persons in their own party, especially when the people, so to speak, implicated in this case, the former power minister is known to be part of the NDC. I think people don't really have the hope, the firm hope, that this case will see the end of it will see light at the end of the day.
You see, it is not so difficult to have those comments coming in, because for a while now, we have seen a very... we have kind of lacked faith in state institutions, because certain occurrences have happened that has to question whether the state is actually up to fight its own, especially when a party is in government, whether they are willing to fight the people within their party who have actually been indicted in certain cases. For example, we can still go back to the former, the chairman, Ashanti Regional Chairman of the NPP, who the then minister came out to say that he was involved in illegal mining. But we had a president coming out to clear him without conducting any investigations. And so, yes, it is not new or it's not strange to have people not having faith in the state officials. But I think that we are in for a change. And the current authorities are very, very concerned about their own reputation, one, and they are very passionate about the research agenda of the president. And I am very sure that, like you said, this will put the oral and everything to a test. And no one would like to be found to be the person who was there. And like I just mentioned, the case of the former attorney, Dame, it was embarrassing. And I don't think that the Honorable Dr. Ayine would like to be in that particular state. And so I believe that investigations are going to be conducted, and whoever that is found guilty, the state will deal with them.
Okay. Kemi, finally, to our final topic, let's talk about...
Very epic of you. I just want to address
We
something.
really do not have time.
Just a minute.
Okay.
Did you mention...
You have 30 seconds.
Wontumi, you said something that Wontumi was accused of illegal money and the government didn't do...
The president came
That's very rich of you. I just want to put on record that Wontumi is being convicted, yes, but not on the basis of galamsey or illegal mining. Thank you. So let's continue today.
You had to just correct
Yes,
that.
because I don't want that false narrative flying about.
Okay,
yes.
to our final topic, let's talk about the ministerial reshuffling. There are some concerns about the positions of some people. I mean, we have the new Defense Minister, we have Dr. Zaneto, she's now with the Ministry of Environment, and we have the majority leader, former majority leader, going to the local government ministry. First of all, what do you take? What do you think of the entire shuffling?
Yes, I think I agree with you to say that people have, raised questions, about the reshuffle. There's been a lot of conversations around it, and I think it's natural. Usually, first of all, yes, the laws of the land, the constitution, they do allow for the president, to appoint ministers, reshuffle, all of that. It's in its right to do so. But then naturally, whenever there's a reshuffle, questions, arise as to, okay, so was it an issue of efficiency? Is it that the persons that have been moved, some of them were not being efficient? And what do we expect to see differently at the end of the day? Because that should, at the end of the day, whatever changes the president deems fit, we are hoping that is for a positive outcome. You get me? So these are questions that Ghanaians will always ask. To what end? Or what is the reason behind this? So regarding, would I say Honorable Zaneto,
yeah.
I, for one, I would say that I've always been championing, more inclusion of women in public office, because I believe that we have a lot of women that are able and capable and have a lot to give, to the governance of this nation. So I must say that I congratulate her on the new appointment. I think that, she has a long-standing record of, she's been an MP for quite some time. So, yes, she comes on with some experience in that regard. I must, however, point out that she will be judged based on her performance at the end of the day, because believe it or not, the portfolio that she has been given is not an easy one. Given our current climate, we have a lot of environmental issues. You get me? Galamsey, our water bodies are being destroyed. I think I saw a report on, is it the Daily Guide or Daily Graphic, saying that about 60% as of now of our water bodies are being destroyed due to Galamsey, a climate change, all of that. So people will be watching and following keenly to see her impact in this role that she has been given. People want to see clear-cut strategies. They actually want to see that change is being effected. So, yeah, she has a heavy surname. We all know her political history and the family she comes from. But, like I said, I'm always for more women because, honestly, And 2025, when the first list of appointees came out, I was a bit disappointed looking at the number of women. It was barely 10%. You get me? We've always been fighting that no, more women should be given the opportunity. We have very able, competent women. So for me, I congratulate her, but I just hope that at the end of the day, the expectations are met.
Are met. Okay.
Yes.
Charity, finally, it took government a whole year to replace the Ministry of Defense. Do we know? I mean, I know we were grieving, but people were concerned about why it took that long, because that position ought to be filled.
Yes, you know, it took a lot of questioning right from the time. I know people came out advocating strongly that especially within the Ministry of Defense, we needed an appointment to that place. And, you know, the president in his wisdom, and I think until after the appointment, being it coinciding with the day of the 1 year anniversary, that made me to understand that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is a man who does everything on purpose. He knows what he is about. I got to understand personally that it was deliberate to actually mourn our heroes who, in line of services, lost their lives, and that would have been the best that he could have done. Actually, he didn't have to rush things because he knew how much it would. He felt it himself. These are people who were very close to him. And so also to their families and everyone, I think it was in order that he had to wait this long to give them the honor, pay the last respect to these people before he does the appointment. I think he needs a commendation for that. And to the appointments, like I said, he's someone who does things with a lot of thinking into it. If you look at the appointments that are coming in, looking at the former majority leader, this is someone who has been in government, has a lot of government experiences. He has served as spokesperson to government, deputy minister for education, I think interior too, and then later minister for information. He has a rich experiences that he brings on board. And now coming to that particular sector, he's going to add up a lot for the interests of this country.
Okay.
And then to talk of the Honorable Dr. Zanato, it is great to know that actually the president will not do anything without adding a woman, but to say that she's someone who is capable
of doing the job.
Yes, okay. Because she's someone who has she has background in the medicine. She has been a climate advocate. She has actually done a lot, and bringing her public service experiences into that. And she has also, like Kemi mentioned, the issues of Galamsey are becoming something of so much interest to this nation. And she has been one of the people who keeps on advocating for the fight against Galamsey. So I think that amongst all the others, you look at the Honorable Kenneth, he's also someone who served under the former president, the first Mahama administration as Deputy Minister for Defense. So I think that all the appointments are top-notch, and at the end of the day, it is going to add up to building the research agenda that we all believe in.
Right, right. Thank you so much, ladies. We really do not have time, but thank you, Kemi. Thank you, Charity. Kemi is with the NPP's communications team, very hot this morning. And Charity is from the NDC's communications team. That brings us to the end of the Breakfast Review.
Spokesperson Felix Kwatiofosu getting to talk about some national issues. Now, one of the things that people have also talked about in recent times is how the police and security services are using the law that was set up basically on fake news, among others, to clamp down on persons who are threatening the president in some instances or on social media. Now, there are those who have argued that in as much as, yes, we are trying to sanitize the space, that is also in a way, and the NPP has used this word, that we are bringing back the criminal libel law through the back door.
We need to segregate those expressing concerns into two groups. There are people genuinely concerned that it may have an impact on the freedom of speech,
yes,
or the general practice of freedom, as enshrined in the Constitution. And then there are NPP propagandists who don't believe a word of what they are saying because of their own practices when they were in power. And I'll give you a tall list of it. To those who are genuinely concerned that it may affect free, let me clarify that as a government, it is not our position, neither is it that of the president, to clamp down on free speech. You are free to criticize government, even harshly. And on a daily basis, it goes on. People say it freely and nothing will happen to you. There are those who violate the law. They are not exercising free speech, they are breaking the law. So, for instance, when you go on TikTok, a social media platform, and threaten to kill the president, behead him, put him in a sack, and behead his wife, that is not free speech. That is a threat on the life of an individual. You forget about the fact that he is president. If anybody threatens you or threatens me with death, it is an offense. And the security forces, to the extent that they have evidence, will pursue the person. That is what that has happened. It is not that they have criticized the president. If you say the president is incompetent, the president is not performing, the president should be impeached, nobody will arrest you for saying so. And indeed, the MPP's loudest communicators who engage in such criticism, no matter how unfounded it is, don't get arrested, or they don't get put before court. There are some amongst them who issue threats. Some too say things that the police believe will undermine the peace. So, for instance, when somebody says, kill Gans and Evers, as Kenneth Japan said some time ago, that clearly is not free speech. That is incitement to violence.
Right.
You understand me? Also, there's a law introduced by the MPP that says that if you knowingly put out false information, knowingly, so fake news, some of it can create panic and lead to disorder. So they clamp down on that. So that has to be distinguished from the exercise of free speech, which President Mahama is a stickler for, which this government encourages. And the evidence is out there. You spoke about the press conference by GHOne and other minority MPs today to criticize government, and I've disagreed with it. I've shown that their claims are not founded. It is mere politics they are doing. But who will arrest GHOne for accusing government of not spending? It doesn't constitute an offense. So nobody will say anything about it beyond disagreeing with him, as I have done here. Then there's the MPP being hypocritical. Why? Under them, somebody who went to demonstrate, staged a one-man demonstration against the first lady. Not even, I don't think it was even against the first lady. It was, he just used the opportunity of the first lady's presence to draw attention to the non-operationalization of a hospital that the NDC had built. He was picked up. Recently, Dr. Baumia issued a statement condemning governments and claimed that the right to free speech was under attack. Yet, when he was vice president, his wife, together with the former first lady, Mrs. Rebecca Kufuor, were accused by a journalist, Kwabena Bobiansa, at the time of Accra FM also, of appropriating state lands at cantonments. Bobiansa was promptly arrested by the police. He was put before court and tried for publication of false news or something to that effect. As I speak to you, that matter is still pending in court. This was when Baumia was vice president. Not a whimper was heard from him. He did not disagree with that. He didn't voice disagreement. He did not condemn the government of the day. Why? There was an NDC activist somewhere in Ablekuma also, who went on social media and said some things that were unpleasant. He was picked up and convicted by a court. He was prosecuted and convicted under the New Patriotic Party. And there are many instances I can give you. There was a self-styled prophet or something who made some very unsavory videos and said some pretty unsavory things about President Akufo-Addo. He was picked up and prosecuted. And there are many instances that I can cite for you. So the MPP cannot claim to be opposed to law enforcement holding people for things they have said that they perceive can undermine the peace. Right. The MPP simply cannot join the fray in that discussion. If they do so, they are just being hypocritical. They are being duplicitous. That is all. But there's a distinction between going after people, for instance, the boy who went to demonstrate, holding a placard. In fact, I don't think he even said anything. Even if he said something, he was demanding the immediate operationalization of a hospital. He was picked up and detained for some time. It was even public commentary and public bashing that got government to free him. So, on what basis does a party with such a track record then come purporting to be concerned about people being held for things they have said that violates the law? And I must stress, nobody is discouraged from criticizing government. People criticize me every day. They even say things that are not true every day, but nobody is picked up for it. There are instances where people use social media to violate laws passed by the MPP itself. So there was an instance of a boy who later we found was an MPP activist who defaced a billboard that somebody had spent money to mount. So he electronically defaced it. The person who mounted the billboard lodged a complaint to the police that it has affected, that false information had created harm for his business. So the police will look into it. So the police looked into it. In fact, it has nothing to do with government. Right. You understand me? So it is important that we draw a clear distinction between the issues so that we don't rush to make heroes out of people who are threatening the... My brother, in which jurisdiction in this world will anybody go scot-free if he publicly threatens to behead the president of a country? You understand me? I do. That is not the same as saying the president is incompetent, the president is hopeless, the president cannot perform, or the president is not performing, or there is hardship, or that economic gains are not translating into the lives of the people. That, who says that and get arrested? Right. You understand the point I'm making? So I think that distinction must be drawn.
So for those who say that, well, we need to relook at that legislation as well, look at that law.
I don't disagree. Look, my natural inclination and position is that we should expand the frontiers of free speech. So if people call for a review of laws so that we soften their impact, I am all for it. I'm not opposed to it. But you see, until that is done, people must be wary of what they do that violates that law. Right. You understand the point? I'm not opposed. President Mama has a very liberal approach. Indeed, there have been many times when members of his own party have criticized him for being too accommodating of critics. And I'm sure you've heard some of those criticisms. Right. There are people who are very fierce and critical of him, who have seen come to this house to hold court with him. He has opened his doors and welcomed them. Some of them even remain critical of his government, including the people within the Fourth Estate and Media Foundation for West Africa. Despite all the claims they've made against the Roads Ministry, many of which we have shown cannot stand scrutiny, the president still welcomed them and engaged them in discussions. Right. He holds meetings with civil society organizations here publicly, some of whom are very critical of his government in various sectors, education, health, mining, and what have you. So there is no position of hostility towards critics of government. Right. It is not a problem at all. But those who hide behind social media and their relative anonymity that they perceive it offers to engage in violations of the law are going to have to account for it. That is all that there is to it. So it's important that we don't yield to exaggerations by the opposition, right, whose record suggests that what they are saying today cannot be taken seriously.
Absolutely. Yes. And there are those who are also saying that, well, yes, some of them went overboard, calling for the killing of the president, among others, and they're still asking that the president intervenes.
Oh, I don't think that we can have the president intervening. You see, that's not how... If you say that maybe law enforcement should go easy on that, I'm not opposed to it. Or perhaps law enforcement should sift through some of the claims and make sure that it's only those that are really serious and have the potential to cause real harm that they deal with. I'm not opposed to it.
I mean, for instance, Camilla Al-Hassan, she was jailed for
I'm saying that I am not opposed to a call for law enforcement to soften their approach and go for those who really seriously commit offenses or whose conduct has real potential to cause harm. I'm not opposed to a call for that to be done, or that the law should be reviewed to be a bit more. I'm not opposed to it, but that has to be distinguished from fault finding against government. The government has done anything untoward.
That's fine.
You understand me? That is the distinction that I seek to do.
But I'm saying, I guess the question I'm asking is that...
No, but again, we can't ask the president to intervene in every matter. You see, what you also don't want... No. You see, what you don't want is an overreaching executive. That at every point the president directly intervenes. The president cannot micromanage state institutions like that, and it should not be encouraged.
Right.
In fact, the president grants pardons to prisoners. I think every 1st July or so. Pardon me if I've messed up the date, but periodically the president does that. Even that is based on strict conditions and processes. So the Prisons Council has to tell the president that they've conducted a review of the conduct of these inmates and that these people have been of good conduct. They have shown clear remorse for the offense they committed. That they recommend that the president pardons them so that they have a second chance in life. The president doesn't do it arbitrarily or unilaterally. You understand me? So it's not the president can just sit down and decide that, my brother, you committed a serious offense of murder or armed robbery. I have pardoned you because I like you. No. It has to be based on. And you see, even in relation to speech, why? The same MPP were not the ones who jubilated, somersaulted over themselves across this country when the Muntie 3 were imprisoned by the Supreme Court for saying things that they perceived to be offensive. Not so. That time they jubilated. I was opposed to that, and I publicly expressed it because I didn't think what they had said merited the punishment that they got, even if we all agree that what they said was not savory. Some of us signed books or petitions for them to be released. What did the MPP not say? They attacked us relentlessly and insisted that those gentlemen must be put in prison. In fact, there are some who claim that the loss that we suffered in 2016 partly emanated from that pardon. Now the same people are saying that others who get into the same web should not be dealt with. That is duplicity and hypocrisy. But my position is clear that we should soften the stance, but that has to be done through legislation. Except that in the current dispensation, law enforcement has a right and mandate to do what they are doing because the law empowers them. So until that is done, you have to watch what you do in order that you don't fall foul of the law. So a distinction is extremely important. One of the problems with our public narrative is that some people deliberately causing it. They mix up and jumble issues so that you don't get clarity. Something happens and they rope in people who should not be answering for anything. So that point is quite clear. But for the records, President Mama is not opposed to free speech. Indeed, he has been at the forefront of the demand for free speech.
So let's look at the agencies that your ministry superintends. Talk about GNA, Ghana Broadcasting, and all the other institutions. There were times where people were talking about a private partnership in terms of getting the operations of these state agencies going. There was some noise with GBC, for instance, some of the staff that also has quieted down for some time. How are they faring?
No, I think that when I took office, I carried out a review of the state of all these agencies. Following from that, I made a presentation to the president on the state of these agencies. It was clear that they were in dire straits. Not necessarily through their fault. Of course, there were things that they could have done better. So, for instance, if you take GBC, Graphic Corporation, New Times Corporation, which are the state-owned media, and then GNA, you find that the advent of social media has impacted their operations. People hardly read newspapers these days. So even though every morning I get copies of their publications, it is most likely that before the newspapers get to my desk, I would have read about the stories also online because they are always behind the curve, while social media is ahead of the curve. There are many people, especially those within the youthful bracket, who don't watch television. They don't listen to radio. They pick their information from social media, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, or X. So that naturally poses a threat to the long-term survival of these entities. And then coupled with some poor management practices. So the organizations began to go down. And these are state-owned enterprises set up first and foremost as business entities to make profit and pay dividends to government. So clearly we needed to save the situation. So indeed, you recall that I answered the parliamentary question by the minority leader sometime last year on what was being done to resuscitate them. And I indicated that whereas these entities are in dire straits, some of them have valuable assets that we can leverage and reinvest in their operations so that they come back to the levels that we expect them to perform at. Of course, we also demand that the management practices improve so that they don't make losses and burden government. Because in lieu of that, government would have to take the taxpayers' money to go and recapitalize them, because these are state-owned enterprises that government is the shareholder in. So we think that leveraging their assets, employing back the proceeds into their operations to recapitalize and retool them is the best approach. And work is currently ongoing. I will brief Parliament at some point. I've already briefed Cabinet. Cabinet is approved, and we are rolling it out. Yes, we take on board the concerns of stakeholders, like workers, management, and all that. And I've had discussions with sections of them. So I believe that eventually we'll be on the same page and we will deliver the goods as far as these entities are concerned.
We run out of time, but let's talk about the Constitutional Review Committee and the work that they've done. I mean, I've spoken to some people who say that, well, it looks like the provisions or all the recommendations that would have also given more power to the people, they were not accepted, and we only accepted the ones that rather strengthen the executive power and the others.
Oh, that is not accurate. The Constitutional Review Committee made about 200 or so recommendations. There were some of them that were pretty straightforward. We accepted. There were some that we accepted with modifications based on practical difficulties and realities that we have to confront. And then there were some that we accepted that even didn't require constitutional amendment. Some of them can be fixed with legislative tweaking. So there are acts of parliament already passed that govern some of these activities already. So we can amend those laws to strengthen the institutional arrangements and make sure that the problems that we've encountered are addressed. So they don't require constitutional review. So I don't think that it is true that we have cherry-picked or that we have given powers to the president. That is not correct. First of all, for many years, there has been a raging debate over the tenure of a president. Indeed, I think one of the most prominent voices on that has been President Kufuor. In the twilight of his presidency, he mooted the idea of a 7-year, 1-term presidency or a 5-year, 2-term presidency. It was subject to public discussions. Others too have said same. You understand me? So the Constitutional Review Committee recommended a 5-year renewable tenure. We accepted it because when you are in government, you know that the way that our system operates, government effectively has 2 years to roll out this program. The first year, you have to compose government. Because of the way that things work, the president has to appoint about 5,000 people and set up institutions. Institutions change. Continuity is a problem. Personnel change. But whilst personnel are changing, the systems that should ensure continuity are not as efficient as they should be. So you spend a lot of time doing all of that. Then in the last year, the concentration is on the elections. Because you have to go through internal processes by political parties, including the ruling party, and it tends to distract attention from the germane issues that need to be addressed by government. So if you have 2 years, so we believe that if it is taken to 5 years, it gives a bit more time to address the many problems that we confront as a government. It is not a power grab or anything, and for the avoidance of doubt, it is not going to apply to President Mahama. It will come into force after President Mahama's tenure. So those who think that this has been designed to give some benefits to President Mahama, it is simply not the case. There was an issue about the age at which one can contest to be president. The Constitution says 40 years. The Constitutional Review Committee proposed 30 years. We thought as a government that no, 30 years is a bit too young, and that a certain level of maturity and experience is required in one's life before you can aspire to such a position. So 35 is a fair middle ground as far as we are concerned. There's an issue about capping the number of parliamentarians. It's a debate that has gone on for quite some time. The Constitutional Review Committee says that we should cap it at the current number 276. We said, okay, if we are capping, then let's take advantage and rope in marginalized groups and give them a certain level of representation. So let's make it 300. Cap it. That means that you can't go beyond that. Government cannot say that we have created new districts. So correspondingly, the Electoral Commission also has to redemarcate constitutional boundaries. No. 300 and that's it. Now the 24 that will be left after the 276 have been elected, let's use it to tilt the balance in favor of marginalized groups. So women, people living with disability, and other such marginalized groups a process will be undertaken to elect such people. Or if you like, select such people. But they will not be appointed by government or the president. That must be made clear. There's an issue about the tenure of the Chief Justice. The Chief Justice currently has security of tenure no matter his age, he has to be there up until 70, or she has to be there up until 70 before she leaves. We believe that a fixed tenure of 10 years provides more certainty and clarity. It also avoids a situation where one man concentrates or one woman concentrates too much power, because they know they have security of tenure. There's no accountability or anything up until they've left. You understand me? So that was also
election of MMDCs.
Election of MMDCs. We are not opposed to the principle. It must be stressed. We believe, based on practical knowledge and experience, that we don't have the systems yet to fully ground an openly partisan electoral system to elect DCs. So let me give you a perfect example. So in AK, for instance, the central government, I'm an MP from the NDC stock. If you do competitive elections and an MPP person wins, disagreements between myself and the DC alone can hamstring development. All that government has to do in order to quote unquote protect its interest is to starve the district of funds. And government can come up with any number of excuses to do that. Then district then suffers because of political theft battles. The reverse is also true. We can have a mischievous NDC DC who, because of political disagreement with an MPP central government, undermines the system. That tends to cut disaffection towards the government. So it creates needless tension. But our democracy, in our view, has not matured to the level where we can do that at the moment. You see, we tend to compare ourselves with systems that have been in place for centuries. There are democracies out there that have been practicing this for centuries, or at least decades. Much older than ours. They've gone through the motions and learned from their experiences. So yes, we can take a leaf or two from their book, but let us fashion out a system that responds to our peculiar circumstances. So for now, we believe that there must be some measure of a balance. Let central government have a certain stake. Let the people also have a certain stake. So the president will nominate 5 people, 2 of whom must be women. Out of these 5, 3 will be shortlisted through a certain fair, transparent process. But at least one of them must be a woman. And then they go to election. So people then decide who becomes a DC. It's entirely possible to have an electorate dissatisfied with the nominees, boycott the election. So there won't be a DC. And the government will be forced to change things, you understand me? But I believe that eventually we will get to a level where DCs are directly elected. But let us fine-tune the systems to make it robust enough to accommodate that kind of introduction, so that we don't have a shock to the system that hamstrings development and damage. So let it be clear. The president is not interested in arrogating more power. In fact, in the current system, he has devolved power. Because ultimately the decision as to who becomes DC lies with the people. They will decide who. And in an extreme case where they are dissatisfied with all nominees, they will boycott it. In fact, even the current system has some level of citizen participation, because the assembly members who have to confirm DCs are elected directly by the electorate. In fact, in AAK, we had to do the confirmation twice because the DC was rejected initially. Because we could not achieve consensus with people who did not align with government in the assembly. So we had to eventually re-engage, achieve consensus before we were able to do that. You understand? So I think that we have to be clear on that.
2 quick ones. GHOne license, GHOne Bank, their licensing. Does government have a problem with that?
No, I don't think that. I think it's a purely regulatory issue. The Bank of Ghana has opposed the appeals court's decision to grant. So I think that because of that, there's a stay of execution, if I'm not mistaken. So it's purely a Bank of Ghana matter. And then, first of all, those who were affected by the revocation of the license have a right to use the court system to vindicate their rights if they believe they have sinned. The Bank of Ghana, which is the regulator that took the action, says they are opposed. So they put in a shout, not so. And then they are at a certain level. So, but government cannot be opposed.
Because it was something that you mentioned that you look at.
Yes, there's no problem with it. The point is this, that there were some businesses that were having problems. Do you collapse those businesses with these attendant difficulties, loss of employment, and then some economic shock to the system? Because you see, it is imperative that Ghanaians have a presence in the financial market, the financial system of the country. We cannot have a financial system that is dominated by foreigners. So the idea of having Ghanaians at the commanding heights of some of the major businesses in the financial sector is one that we as a people should appreciate and work towards. So if there's evidence that somebody was unfairly targeted, either for partisan or sectarian reasons, and their businesses was collapsed, there's nothing wrong with looking into it and ensuring that justice is done. That is a fundamental principle. But the way you do it is to go through due process.
Right.
So GHOne Bank on their own went to court and won at the Court of Appeal. The regulator says, no, we are opposed. So stay execution. Let us slug it out first. Depending on the outcome, things will be done a certain way.
Right.
I think that is fair.
Okay.
And the government is not opposed to that process. Yes.
Men's Gold customers are still waiting. They are waiting. They are asking government to look at them and pay them.
Well, I'm sure the appropriate authorities will look at whether or not there is basis for that kind of demand. And then we'll take the appropriate action. That's what I can say for now.
Right. Because they also talk about the fact that, well, when you were in opposition, it was something that you were also talking about. You were concerned.
Well, of course.
You were concerned about what has happened to them.
I think
locked up funds, how people were dying.
There are lessons to be learned both ways.
Okay.
First of all, people must appreciate that when something is too good to be true, you have to be cautious. Unfortunately, even after Men's Gold and Pyram and all the others, there's been a recent instance where people have lost monies under very suspicious.
And the SEC has issued statements as well on that.
These statements have been issued over and over. The Bank of Ghana has cautioned people. Indeed, let me perhaps take advantage of your platform to announce also that recently there are some AI videos of the president and other leading government functionaries promising some financial incentives, which are simply not true. We've had cause to issue statements cautioning the public, but you will be amazed that people fall. Indeed, I have an instance where a teacher in my constituency, an enlightened person like that, called me severally one day. I was in a meeting, so I could not pick up.
Yeah.
So I got back to see that he had called me many times. I called back and he says that at that time, somebody was posing as myself and offering him a slot in the security agencies in exchange for 100 Ghana cedis. And that he was calling me to check whether it was true. But because he could not reach me, he paid. And so he's lost money. Incidentally, he asked me to come and pay for the loss that he has incurred. That's another matter. But you see, but I was surprised that a teacher, somebody as enlightened as that, will fall victim to such. Why would I take money from you if I want to assist you?
And 100
cedis. What would he do to me? You understand me? So it is unfortunate that people continue to fall victim to this. But please, if something is too good to be true, it is most likely that it is fraudulent. So you need to be wary and comply with the recommendations and advice from statutory bodies who have expertise in these matters. I think if we adopted that approach, we'll be able to cut back on some of these unfortunate developments. Yeah.
Right. So before we conclude our conversation, let's talk about AAK and the work you're doing as Member of Parliament for the area, despite your really, really intense schedule as spokesperson for the government.
Yes, in fact, all things being equal, I go there this weekend. As I indicated, the level of development in the district was pretty low when I was campaigning. So indeed, even as a candidate vying for elections in 2020 and 2024, I had to dig deep and mobilize resources to do many, many projects. So in fact, there's hardly any community where you won't find my footprint, even as an opposing candidate. I built clinics, I refurbished maternity units, I provided water systems. There are places where I had to mobilize to reshape the road because it was in poor state. And in fact, I built a community center for the people of Mori. If you go there, you see it right now. So these are things that I used to do. So as MP, I'm sure the responsibility doubles. And since I came into power, I came to office as MP, I've done my best to push as much as possible to the constituency. So our roads are being fixed, schools are being built, hospitals or clinics are being built. We are going to work on the markets. Water systems are being built. Indeed, the recent free primary health care health posts that the Ministry of Health launched, I managed to ensure that one has gotten to AAK. I'm sure they should have finished construction by now. When I was there last week or the week before, I went to inspect it. They had progressed substantially. So I'm sure it should be completed by now. This is part of the effort we are making to bring health care to the doorstep of the people. There are more things that we will continue to do in order that we are able to bring the constituency to a level where we see a significant improvement in their conditions.
I've recently been asking most MPs that I speak with their take on the abolishment of the delegate system. Would it make their work easier or even more difficult?
There are two sides to it. Truth be told, the delegate system was becoming unsustainable because there were instances where extreme demands were made of people who vied for positions. Completely unsustainable and untenable. There have been instances where people have had to buy vehicles Some have bought fridges, deep freezers, and dished out huge sums of money to people just to vote for them to represent them.
Did you have to do that?
I didn't have to. Fortunately, the people of AIK they are reasonable in their approach. Of course, when you go to meet them, you make provision for refreshment. Yes. Sometimes
they'll drink water, transportation,
because you bring them from wherever they have to come and listen. So that is not inducement.
Okay.
It's only meant to facilitate their movements. But I have not faced these ridiculous demands. But I know that people elsewhere, my approach is to use whatever resources I'm able to mobilize to invest in the community. That's how I come as a candidate. Even before I became a candidate, I was able to do the things that I did for them. They didn't make these demands. Of course, there's the usual request for school fees, which I do. It takes a heavy toll, honestly, and sometimes it can really affect you. But in terms of the delegates themselves, they don't make such demands. It's a general citizenry or inhabitants.
Because there are those who say that this particular decision will make it more expensive.
By all means, something needed to be done about it. The idea also that it is opened up to all registered members of political parties is one that I support. First of all, it will make it impossible for people to do the sort of things they did in the delegate system. How are you going to induce, for instance, in the AAK now, we have 18,000 registered NDC members. How are you going to share fridges for 18,000 people? Or television sets for 18,000 people? Or vehicle? It's not going to be possible. You understand me? I suspect that what may happen is that candidates vying for elections will be made to contribute. For instance, when you are going to contest elections, we pay nomination fees. We pay forms which are sold, and then we pay fees which are determined by the parties. So maybe that may be jacked up a bit to raise resources to finance the larger participation by the entire membership of the party in constituency. That's what may happen. But I think it's a good thing. Democracy has been brought to the doorstep of the people. If people choose their representatives to go to parliament universally, same should be done within political parties. It will curb the excessive expenditure that used to go to individuals. That even if the cost goes up, it will be a collective responsibility. The party will bear it as a whole, but it will not become a burden that is placed on individuals. So I don't understand why I should pay you for representing you. It doesn't make any kind of sense. But we're getting to absurd levels. And something needs to be done. I think that what the Supreme Court has done, if they themselves acknowledge, I read their ruling, and it was clear that they were on point and that it was well reasoned. Yes.
But I mean, the pressure on you as MP?
Enormous. I had cause to speak about it on Newsflash some time ago. Some took it the wrong way, but it is enormous. You see, it's also a function of the state of our country. The truth is that we are a developing country. We have hydra-headed problems, complex challenges. So the government is not able to reach every corner of this country. So there's a gap, a bridge that MPs need to fill. So for instance, if I go to AAK, on any given day, you will have hundreds of people in my house with multiple requests. Of course, you will not be able to satisfy everybody, but you do the best you can to the extent that you have some resources to assist. It is not, they don't come and tell you false stories. They are not there to extort money from you on the basis of cooked up. So these are legitimate problems, especially in more rural communities. Now, I know of a lady whose son got admission to what you would consider a category A school in Ghana. This could have changed the life of the boy. The lady needed 200 Ghana cedis. This is sometime in 2023 or so. 200 Ghana cedis to use for transportation, to go to the school and find out what she needed to do for the boy. According to her, she didn't find it. So eventually she had to send the boy to a category C school.
Wow.
Not that there's anything wrong with that school per se, but surely if he had gone to a category A school, because of the conditions there, his life would be bettered. And she could not afford 200 cedis just to go to the school to obtain the prospectus and find out what was required. So when I got to it was too late and nothing could be done. You understand me? Indeed, I'll tell you another story. This is not necessarily from my constituency. There was a day that I was sleeping in the dead of night. Apparently, somebody had sent me a text message that his brother had been bitten by a snake. This was around 2001, 2021, 2022. He had been bitten by a snake. And that he needed what? Is it 300 or 400 cedis to buy anti-snake serum so that the brother could be injected to save him from the misfortune. I didn't see the test because I was fast asleep. When I woke up, he had apparently sent another text message that his brother had died because he couldn't mobilize 400 cedis to buy the anti-snake serum. So the brother had died. One of the saddest days in my life. So people have genuine problems. Government cannot go about giving 200 and 400 cedis for people to buy serum and all that. Of course, government can make provision through the healthcare system. But there are instances where you call them the last mile. You can't reach them.
Yeah.
So the person that they know is the MP. They know my house, so they will come to me. I'm the only person they know who they believe has capacity to help address their cause. So they will come to me. So that pressure is organic, it is legitimate, it is genuine. Except that it burdens, or if you like, overburdens the MP, because there's only so much that you can do as an individual.
Right.
So for a developing country, that challenge, I know that elsewhere, they are members of parliament, they also hold courts like that. People come to, but the issues they bring are not related to personal individual. They come and complain about the system.
Yeah.
And then you use your contacts and your voice to get their problems addressed. But here, it is more financial, it's more economic and socio-cultural. So it imposes a real, if you see any MP who has been able to stay in parliament for more than 2 terms, you need to show the person a lot of respect. Because what they have been through, in the tenor that is absolutely unbelievable.
I engage MPs who are out of parliament and they tell them they miss the process of legislation, but they don't miss being an MP.
It is true. Look, I have seen MPs who, after leaving office, have become paupers, have fallen into penury, because they spent all their resources on the constituency. And there's a misconception that MPs benefit. And I had cause to say it's not true. Look, even the parliamentary cars, the car loans that become topic, and you media men bash MPs incessantly over it. They start deducting. The very first year you get to, even before you see, in fact, even before you engage a vendor to negotiate for a car, they start deducting, pending the payment to the vendor. So there are some who leave parliament with nothing because all their money is used to pay for the car. You understand me? Then there's S. Gracia, which in fact is 4 months' salary for every year saved. So it is not much really in terms of the quantum. What may make it appear to be a lot is that sometimes, because of the way that our constitutional arrangement works, the salaries and conditions of MPs and ministers are determined when they are about to leave office. So when it is determined and it's more than what you took on account, then they give you a back pay. That is then added to S. Gracia and it appears big. No. S. Gracia is 4 months' pay for every year that you've served. So for 4 years, it is not much in and of itself. Beyond this, nothing else comes.
Right.
And yet MPs, so I said that what you spend as an MP is far, far more than what you earn as an MP. So there's no MP that you will talk to who will give you any evidence, or you won't find any evidence of an MP who is better off coming to parliament than he left it, unless they themselves are engaged in some private business before they came. You understand me? So it has to be understood, but we understand that it is a function of our state of development. As our economy grows, more people find employment and our socio-economic circumstances change, some of these problems will abate. But please, MPs must be given their due. Some of the criticism leveled against them is completely unfair. Absolutely unfair. They have no relation to the realities that the MPs face.
Right.
And I know this at first hand because I have campaigned over a certain period to become an MP, even as a candidate. And in the particular case of AAK, because monies were not going from the center into the Resource Assembly Common Fund, virtually nothing was happening there. And because they perceive me as a prominent voice, they come to me with community-related problems that are huge. Some of them I attempted and succeeded in addressing. And I continue to address as MP. But I think that we need to have a conversation about the perceptions that surround MPs. It is most unfair. The work and sacrifice that the MPs put in need to be appreciated.
Absolutely.
In my view. Yes.
Well, it's been quite an exciting one, but I want us to settle this once and for all. The president has spoken about it, but the people keep talking about it. John Mahama, will he run for a 3rd term?
The president has said that nothing of the sort is on
But there are people who say that,
and again,
he should go.
You see, people say that because some people on social media have expressed that view, then there's a 3rd term. You see, people are free to say whatever they want to the extent that it's not against the law on social media. But it doesn't make, you see, this whole conversation started as MPP propaganda in 2024. You know, in American football, there's something they call Hail Mary. When the team is lagging behind and there are a few seconds on the clock, somebody kicks the ball, a long kick, in the desperate hope that he will score and make up for the score before the time runs out. So as the elections drew close, they saw that they were losing. So they engaged in scaremongering tactics. They began to say that, if you vote for President Mahama, he will go for a third term. Yeah, he will amend the constitution and go for a third term. So it became part of the narrative, as dubious and as false as it was. Then we won power. And then a few people on social media used to say that they are impressed about the start that President Mahama has made. And so perhaps he should continue and go for a third. But that has not been there.
So there's no JM to Aso?
The president was clear in whole about 3 weeks ago that as far as you know, the constitutional provision is very clear.
Yeah.
And that when he was campaigning to be made president in 2024, he was clear that he was going to be given a 4-year mandate. And that is it.
Right.
The president has been very clear. So I wonder why people continue to say that, but I don't think that we need to pay heed to it.
Vera, Felix, thank you so much. It's been a great conversation with you. That's Felix Kwachiofusu, government spokesperson, and also the member of parliament for Asebu Abura Kwamankese. Abura Asebu Kwamankese. Fused together, AAK. Right. So, Felix, great one there. We wish you the very best, and thank you so much for hosting us.
Yeah, maybe we should do this some more.
We should. We should. Right, but finally, yes, before we go, Chama to me, there are those who say that, well, as it stands now, yes, the appeal is pending. That has not been heard now. And the 20-year sentence handed to him was just too harsh.
Well, to be honest with you, when I heard the sentence, I was a bit taken aback myself. I said, wow. But the judge was left with little choice. In fact, the minimum the judge can give was 15 years,
yes.
And then the highest is 25 years. Yeah. So clearly the judge's hands were tied. It's regrettable, it's unfortunate, but that is what the law prescribes if you engage in certain activity. There are those who have claimed that, including Utimi himself, that if he apologizes to President Mahama, he could be. You see, that is not the case. President Mahama is a politician of many years experience, vastly experienced. He understands that in politics there's verbal jousting. People say things, you also say things. Yeah. We all know that Wontumi went too far in some instances, but it has nothing to do with this case. Indeed, on the charge sheet that was sent to court against Wontumi, there was nowhere that insults were tabled as part of the charges. So it has nothing to do with what he said about President Mahama. It has to do with illegal mining, so to speak. So I don't think that those calls are properly grounded. In any event, as I indicated earlier, the president does not have the liberty to decide that this and that person should be freed from, unless there are extraordinary circumstances. There are instances where people have been convicted, like the gentleman who was MP for Moko, Ademusa Kandi. Yeah. He was convicted by a high court. In fact, it was not even a government case per se. It was an individual who initiated prosecution against him. You understand me? At some point, it turned out that he was gravely ill. So the president, on account of that, the prison council made a representation. Right. It was looked into, and then he was released. Okay. But beyond those peculiar circumstances, that recommendation has to come from the prison cell. So the president doesn't even know the people personally. He only gets a list, and he is told that this and that person has been of good behavior. He's shown remorse, so give him another chance. Yeah. And then he goes through lawful processes to do that. So it's not that anybody can commit an offense, and when the law catches up and they are convicted, then they come to the president to plead. I don't think that we can. It's not a sustainable approach.
And for those who say that this is an agenda against the MPP, because now it's Miracles Abuaje who is having to.
You see, I don't say this out of equalization, but I can count about a dozen NDC officials, former government officials, who were prosecuted by MPP governments and were sentenced to prison terms by courts. Was it an agenda against the NDC? Mr. Kwame Pepra, Mr. Ibrahim Adams, Mr. Sipayanki, Alhaji Osman, former Deputy National Security Coordinator, Mr. Bafu Boni, former NCA Board Chairman, Mr. William Tevi, former NCA Director General, and many others who were convicted by courts upon the prosecution of the MPP. Indeed, we are talking about Sedina, Tamakurachu. No, so was he not prosecuted by the MPP? So was it an agenda against the NDC? And again, there are even those who have said that oral is too slow. You find that this Attorney General and the law enforcement organizations have taken their time. They've done painstaking investigation. So before they invite you and begin processes to prosecute you, they are certain about what they are saying. Okay. You understand me? I don't wish prison for any body, not even my worst enemy. It's not an experience that anybody should have. I don't wish for that. Unfortunately, the laws of Ghana say that ABCD should be done if you do XYZ.
Right.
You understand me? There is no known agenda. Some say that people are critics. I don't think the fiercest critic of the NDC is Miracles. I don't think so. You understand me?
Right.
Why? President Mama himself, when he left office, the Akufo-Addo government referred him to the OSP for prosecution, also for investigations. Because we indeed interrogated President Mama as part of an investigation, except that they found that there was no basis for the claims against him, so they dismissed it. So if a whole president, former president, can be investigated, why then do we hear these noises? President Rawlings, who was a military strongman for many years and became first president of the Fourth Republic, he went to a program, a GHOne program, and made the famous boom speech. He was invited by the BNI for investigation. So if former presidents can be invited by security agencies for investigations on the basis of some claims made against them, why do we create the impression that if a communicator of the opposition party is invited on specific claims, I'm not saying that the allegations against any particular person are true or false. What I do know is that under this government, trammed up charges are a no-no.
Okay.
If the Attorney General is uncertain, in fact, there are instances where there may be bits of evidence, but when you piece them together, they are not sufficient to ground prosecution. The Attorney General will not pursue it.
Right.
In fact, he has been accused of being too slow, not so. You understand me?
Right.
Right. So before he goes after somebody, he is certain about what he's talking about. But even then, the facts have to be established in court. A court has to hear.
Right.
You are also given opportunity to tell your side before a determination is made. So I can assure you that we have never sat around the table as a government to even discuss the prosecution of anybody, let alone hatch a plot to silence anybody. How are you even going to silence the opposition? The opposition has millions of followers. So how does arresting one or two and prosecuting them for corruption offenses silence the opposition? I don't think that claim is right. Of course, there have been instances in the past, and I have cited there to forcing prosecution, for instance. Because I attended court almost every day the case was called.
Okay.
I examined the documents, I heard the testimonies, where you see that this is nothing more than a fabrication against this individual for purposes of silencing him or punishing him for perceived anti-government stance on some matters or activity. Those instances exist.
Right.
But under this government, I can assure that no such thing will happen, ever. Okay. The president will not endorse it. And the Attorney General, I know, will also not do such a thing. That is the reason why people accuse him of being slow. He takes his time to study the dockets. There are many dockets before him. He goes through each one of them with a fine comb to be sure that there's basis. You see, a multiplicity of suspicions do not form guilt. You see, you may have your suspicions, but it doesn't mean that necessarily means a person has committed an offense. There may be a plausible explanation. So the person is given an opportunity to explain. And if it is tenable, they won't pursue it.
Okay.
So I think that we need to get that straight. Politicians have a habit of crying wolf and making noises and seeking to court public sympathy. But we always need to look at the facts of each case on their own merits.
Okay.
If instances of victimization or political witch hunting occurs, I'm sure that the people of Ghana will voice concern about it. And it will even not be practical for government to do because you will suffer consequences for doing so.
Okay. Yes. Well, I know that we are supposed to go, but finally, okay, Frimpong, what do we know so far as to his state?
I know that the processes are still ongoing.
Okay.
And to the extent that evidence exists against him, the appropriate authorities in the US and elsewhere will look at it. But because he's a Ghanaian citizen, the state of Ghana is obliged to offer him consular support, and we are doing that at the moment, yes.
Okay. Right. So is it in the Netherlands? Is it in the US?
He's in the Netherlands as I speak. But I understand that efforts are underway to extradite. I don't know how far that has gone, but I can always find out. What I know is that the processes are still ongoing against him, yes.
So talks about a by-election in constituency premature?
Well, I think it's premature. It's not the first time. You recall the case of Amwati. It took some. I think that it is only fair that he is allowed to go through all the legal process. It is at the point when he is found guilty and convicted, and therefore will not be able to continue to serve, that you call for by-election. But he should be presumed innocent until proven guilty.
That's right.
It is not his fault that he is not in Ghana. He has been held by law enforcement officers outside this country, lawfully and legitimately. So it is not fair to call for by-elections. And the provision in the parliamentary rules that say that if you miss sittings for 15 days does not apply because he has not chosen to be absent.
Right.
He has not chosen on his own to be absent. And at the time that he left this country, Parliament was only in session. You understand? So I don't think that he has breached any law on the Ghanaian side yet, at least as far as we know. So I think that the processes should be undertaken. And when we get to a state where his case is determined, then we can call for a by-election. Otherwise, it's premature.
Very well. Thank you once again, Felix, for granting us audience. That's Felix Kwachofosu, the Member of Parliament for AAK and also government spokesperson, helping us appreciate quite a myriad of issues and government position on some critical matters of national importance as well. Many thanks to Babana Okutor for my outfit, to MTN and also EBA Motors for being associated with the show. We'll be back same time next week. God willing, do have a wonderful day.
That was a excerpt of an exclusive interview with Joshua and government spokesperson Felix Kwachofosu there. But let's cross over to the premises of IFS, where a presentation of government media budget review is going on. Let's cross over.
All right, so all is said here at the offices of the Institute for Fiscal Studies for their presentation on the media budget review, which was presented in Parliament by the Finance Minister, Dr. Kassia Atu-Forson, on the 23rd of July. All is said, the media is here, everything is said, except that the officials from the Institute are yet to walk in here to begin their presentation. I've had a brief conversation with a senior fellow in the person of Mr. Leslie Dwight Mensah, and he mentioned that what actually took them this time 1 month and over before their presentation has to do with the fact that they want to give a detailed information as to what government should do for the rest of the year, and also they don't want to haphazardly present anything that will not be workable for government. So that situation that compelled them to wait for a month and above before the presentation. And as I speak to you, in the next 10 minutes, he mentioned that 10 minutes after 10, they will walk in here and the presentation that they have as far as the media budget review is concerned will be presented for audience. So I would like to advise all viewers out there to keep their sets on GHOne TV and all ERB media platforms, because we are coming to you live with every bit of information that will be presented here as far as the media budget review is concerned. So that is what I can say for now. You don't want to miss this because it's one of the deep and detailed presentation that will come as far as the media budget review is concerned. Dide.
That was my colleague, Calvin. He's at the premises of IFS. They are yet to begin the presentation on the mid-year budget review. But let's have some birthday messages. Glorious birthday to you, Superintendent Retired Ebenezer Akotia from Dr. Pino and siblings. They're wishing you good health and prosperity for attaining 63 years today. Happy birthday to you, sir. Happy birthday to CEO of Prebi Group, Mr. Kafui, from the IT Operations Department. Happy birthday to you, sir. We wish you a happy day and a prosperous year. Happy glorious 4th birthday to you, sweet little granddaughter. Now, may the good Lord bless you and cause his face to shine upon you from your grandmother, your brother, and the entire family. We love you and wish you all the best. Happy birthday to you, darling. To my beloved Lydia, my mama Lydia, happy birthday to the woman who leads with grace, loves deeply, and inspires me every day. I celebrate you as my wife, my best friend, and greatest blessing. May God fill your new year with grace, strength, joy, and abundant blessing. Love you always, forever yours. This is from Nicholas. Happy birthday to you, Lydia. Ma Lydia. And that brings us to the end of the show here on GHOne Television. My name is Awisi Dede Jangi. Enjoy your day.